Oh, yeah. Hey, Barry. Hey, Michael. Hey, crazy cat. How y'all doing? Morning, Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weekend Case Review. I am your lone wolf, Usul. I am bringing to you this morning some very, very interesting cases. We're going to start this morning off with the cookie lady from Cowlitz County that we saw a few weeks ago. She's been suing people over signs that she wants to put in her yard. She's suing people about work they've done in her kitchen. After that, we're going to go to Judge Ricky. We're going to visit with him for a while and find out his immense distaste with people who blow off court. And then we're going to go to Judge Middleton after that, and we're going to meet with a lady who makes Judge Ricky's case look like Christmas morning. Then we'll wrap things up with Van. And ladies and gentlemen, all of that starts right now.
All right, good afternoon to both parties. If you could please unmute. Mr. Guadron, if you could please unmute, take off your hat and just drop the... Mr. Guadron, what is your background, sir?
It's a picture of the kitchen that we did some work on, and since this court case we had with you, I found out that it's being broadcast on YouTube and over 37,000 people are watching us. So I figured I'd put that up there so we can.
All right, sir. I did see an exhibit you submitted, and I am aware that this is now likely being streamed on YouTube. If you could please take down your background. I don't appreciate me being broadcast in the background in a picture like that. Thank you, sir.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do it while we're working here.
I'll wait until you can figure it out, sir.
Does that work?
That's great. Thank you, sir. All right, so we're here in case 24S235. We have the plaintiff, Jenny Quiriconi, present. We have the defendant, Justin Guadron. Are you the owner of Affordable Land Care, sir?
Yes.
Okay, the owner of Affordable Land Care. So it looks like an amended claim was filed, but as of today, sir, $6,000 is being requested by Ms. Quiriconi against you. Are you aware of that value?
Yes.
All right, sir. So, sir, you keep popping in and out. I don't know if you could just stay in the camera, please.
I'm sorry, I'm at work.
All right. Well, this is a trial. So I apologize that you're at work. You're just going to have to take some time off to handle this matter. All right, sir. So going forward, this is a trial. Ms. Quiriconi is going to go first. She is the plaintiff in this matter. I'm going to let her go first, present the evidence that she has for the $6,000 value she is seeking against you. If she has any witnesses to call, she can call them forward, and then we will listen to her side of the story. When she's done, I'll let you tell your side of the story, sir. I ask that both parties do not address the other, that they only address me. If there are any questions, just to me, let's try to keep this amicable. I don't want this to be a contentious situation now that you have brought to light that most people on YouTube like to watch Ms. Quiriconi's matters. So let's just keep this very amicable, please. When you're done, I'll go ahead and offer my judgment in this matter. Are there any questions in regards to any of this going forward?
Yes, Your Honor, I have questions.
What's your question, Ms. Quiriconi?
Your Honor, what makes you think, as you stated, that people are watching because of my matters and not because it is your court?
That's true. It might be my court.
Your
Any
Honor,
other questions?
are you aware that because that your court has been monetized on YouTube, that I have been subject to harassment by
It's not monetized. How is there any monetary financial gain from this?
the people who stream your court on their YouTube channels have paid subscribers?
What does that have to do with me, Ms. Quiriconi?
I am just stating facts regarding your channel being monetized.
It's not a channel. I'm a government employee sitting in a courtroom. This is not a YouTube channel. This is a Zoom trial.
This is true, Your Honor. And people on YouTube are monetizing your court by paid subscriptions to their channel. And I object to Mr. Guadron continuing to have the picture of my kitchen in his background.
All right. Mr. Guadron, please take it down and make just a neutral background. That is an exhibit that has been submitted, and I will go ahead and review it at another time.
This, can you see, I just want, this exhibit that's in my background
Mhm.
is pertaining to the case. Wasn't able to give it to you in the photos. I wanted
Okay,
you
well
to
then please
see
take
this
it down. Please take it down.
because it goes against one of her allegations.
All right, so you're going to have to just testify against, to that verbally at that point. Please take it down. Thank you, sir. Anything else, Ms. Quiriconi? Because we need to begin.
I understand.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth during this proceeding?
I do, Your Honor.
Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Jenny Quiriconi, Quiriconi.
Thank you. Please begin with your testimony.
Your Honor, last year, I contracted with Justin Guadron and Affordable Land Care to have my very small 9x10 kitchen remodeled. I paid my invoices, and within the exhibits, you will find representations of my checks that he accepted in full payment of the first 2 invoices generated by him. There are no details of how much labor might be required in hours. And in fact, I did not ask him at any point for documentation on hours. And that is one of the questions that I have for Mr. Guadron, is if he can supply documentation for the number of hours and the days that he worked.
Quiriconi, I apologize. Mr. Guadron, this is a trial. Please take off your hat. Please do not drink beverages, and please do not eat any food. This is a serious matter, sir. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Quiriconi, please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because of the nature of the work, plumbing was required. I have since found out that while Mr. Guadron is a plumbing contractor and a general contractor, he is not a plumber. And from the very beginning, he put himself forward as a plumber. A plumber must have that qualification through Labor and Industries. Mr. Guadron is a plumber trainee, and as a plumber trainee, he is required to have supervision on site for his work. To my knowledge, he never had supervision on site. Within the paperwork is who is supposed to be supervising him. I was unfamiliar with that name until I started looking into his background. He also refers to, in one of his own text messages from the very beginning, that he and his partner are coming by. Now, there is some paperwork that says he has a partner named Patrick, but there is no last name, and I never met anyone named Patrick. I never heard their name, nor did I ever hear the name of the person who was supposed to supervise him. I was not on site the entire time that the plumbing work was being done. However, when I was here and plumbing work was being done, there was absolutely no supervision whatsoever. Mr. Guadron claims that there were, according to his document, unexpected circumstances. But his document also says that his labor is warranted for 1 year. That year is not yet up, Your Honor. I have had an estimate done of what it will take to remediate the items in my kitchen that are substandard, do not pass inspection, and I have requested be fixed by Mr. Guadron. He has refused communication. He has done shoddy repair work. Behind me are 2 full tiles of flooring that were available to properly repair the floor. Instead, he put in a little plug in the flooring that has a hole all the way around it, and in the center they go straight through the subfloor and into the insulation. In the picture showing that, there are numbers 1 and 2. 1 shows the pipes passing from under the cabinet and into the floor. Plumbing regulations require that something like this item, I believe it's called an escutcheon, this one was made in 1914, go around those pipes and secure them to the floor. This prevents my plumbing from passing inspection, an inspection for which a permit was never obtained. If Mr. Guadron is a plumber and a plumbing contractor, he ought to have gotten the proper permit to do the plumbing work. He did not acquire that permit. I do not know if he got permits for remodeling. I have not checked. I never saw one. The only permit I ever saw was for electrical, and I paid for that. If you notice in the picture where the floor has been repaired, you will also see at the back of the wall, there are no baseboards. This means should any pipe burst, should there be any kind of leak whatsoever, that water is going to go down there at the base of the floor, ruining not only the sheetrock behind it, but possibly the underlying subfloor, the insulation, and even the foundation. It can contribute to rot and mold. In addition, insects can come up through there. Food items can get trapped in there, so it creates a very unsanitary condition. This ought to have been fixed. My requests have basically been ignored. In Mr. Guadron's paperwork, where page 1 refers to a partner, I don't know what partner he's referring to, whether it's Patrick or whether it's the one and only person I ever saw here on site, Zach. I never knew Zach's name. I don't know how many employees there are. He wanted me to use my truck for hauling things. They left all the stuff behind. I took care of it myself. On one of these pages, the date is hard to tell, but on April 17th, that was when the electrical was done and when the inspection. The next page, the conversation about the shed and the garage, and he's been busy helping a friend move. Or I don't know when that conversation was. It's not identified with any kind of date, or nor is the next one about when he's going to be home, when I'm going to be home in a few minutes. He's apparently not ready to, he's not in a hurry. He's concerned about my squatter that I had. In the end of August, he lets me know when his employee, who he misspells the name, I don't know whether it's Z-A-C-K or Z-A-K. I let him know when I was in the hospital. I let him know that there was a hole under my kitchen sink, under my kitchen, in my kitchen, under the cabinets that needed to be repaired. I had the tiles then. The labor costs are so expensive. Never, ever, ever do I get to see what the labor charge is. I have talked with a couple of plumbers since, and I know that a trainee generally makes much less than a journeyman plumber. I was basically charged $4,000 for very little work. I don't know if it even took him 10 hours, which would be $400 an hour, which is far above what a journeyman plumber would cost. Then he introduces some totally unrelated to this case information.
All right, Ms.
I-
Quiriconi, you seem to be spending a lot of time going through his exhibits, which is fine, but I
Okay,
think that what you miss is where are you getting $6,000 from?
I believe I have a document that I supplied to you for the $6,000. It would be including the $35 fee for court, $46.80 for the permit for plumbing, $9.68 for the first notice by certified mail, $160 to Emerald City Legal for skip tracing and the attempt to file, $10.10 for the second notice by mail, $80 for attempts to serve, $362.68 to get all of my doors rekeyed because employees Zach and owner Mr. Guadron never returned my key that they were in possession of. I didn't feel safe. I better get my house rekeyed. Then there is the $4,983.08 estimate for remediation. I could only find one firm that was willing to take on this job, Your Honor, which is why there is not a second estimate.
Ms. Quiriconi, this piece of paper where you typed up yourself, this is an estimate from a licensed company?
Yes, and that is there.
Why didn't you send me the actual email from the licensed company as opposed to you just typing it up yourself?
Oh, it should be in your documents, Your Honor, from Heritage.
Okay, let me look for Heritage.
Your Honor.
One second.
Can I-
Let me just try to find this Heritage. Ms. Quiriconi, please hold up the Heritage document.
It's 2 pages.
Sure.
Here, oh, maybe it's 3. And they actually show their labor cost per hour. Unlike Mr. Guadron, who never showed me a thing.
All right, ma'am. I don't see anything from Heritage. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me go ahead. So it's 2 pages.
One of them has a back on it, I believe.
All right. So I think that a big statement of yours is that none of this would pass inspection as to why you're looking for another construction company to come in and remediate what you think would not pass inspection. Could you please turn my attention to where the inspection report is that none of this would pass inspection?
They will not provide that, Your Honor.
So you're saying that
I
they
can tell you
inspected your house and they wouldn't provide an inspection report?
that is correct. They will give me a pass report, but they did not supply a do not pass. I can give you the name of the inspector. I can give
No,
you the
thank you.
date he was here. I can give you the names of everyone I spoke to at the city who assisted me in this, who gave me the name and number of L&I so that I could report him, which
Ma'am, I'm not asking about that. Show me the piece of paper where it's your pass, not pass report.
they will not provide one, Your Honor.
They wouldn't provide you a piece of paper that says you do not pass inspection?
Correct, Your Honor.
I find that interesting.
I do not make the bureaucracy, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so based on this report allegedly that exists that says that you would not pass, that you are unable to receive a copy of, but which you state says that you would not pass, you looked into Heritage to remediate the issues.
I looked into the city and I looked into L&I, and they both confirmed that without the things on my pipe, I do not pass inspection.
So you're telling me that if you call them, they'll tell you why you didn't pass, but they won't give you a piece of paper stating why you won't pass?
I couldn't get one out of them, Your Honor. I don't know how to.
Okay.
Excuse me, just a moment. Let me take a breath.
Right.
Your Honor, I am a neurodivergent person with complex PTSD and a huge
Understand that, ma'am.
disorder. When I was in there, it was very difficult for me to deal with what I was dealing with. And perhaps I neglected to ask for that. If I have time and they are open today, I will have that to your court before close of business. If
Sorry, ma'am, I'm going to be imparting judgment before then. I do see what you've provided here from Heritage. I think that the issue is without a report showing what wouldn't have passed, it's just hard for me to look at this Heritage construction report and be able to differentiate between what needs to be fixed to pass inspection versus what you maybe didn't like and just want fixed based on aesthetic preferences. That's what makes this a little bit difficult to parse through.
would you like me to quickly look up the plumbing code for Your Honor so that you might see
No.
that?
No, thank you. I don't really want you to quickly look up the plumbing code. All right, so I see that Heritage Construction. But here's the issue. If it's these little things from 1940 that need to be going around the pipes, why do you have all these grand total areas for reconstruction, your SF walls, your SF ceiling, SF walls and ceiling, floor perimeter? Why is everything being changed instead of little baby plugs being put on the pipes that don't meet inspection?
R&R baseboard is remediation. There are no baseboards. It needs to be fixed. Mr. Guadron did not do things correctly and the way they were expected to be done.
Okay, so then do baseboards go on the ceiling and do they go on the exterior wall area?
I'm sorry. Can you give me a number or something that you are referring to somewhere?
Sure. On page 2, the Heritage Construction, you're saying that the baseboards needed to be replaced because, in your opinion, they would not pass inspection. Inspection. I'm getting tongue-tied. I apologize. But I see here your estimate has to do with walls and ceiling and exterior wall area. So, I mean, I just thought baseboards went on the floor, not on walls and ceiling and exterior wall area.
My cabinetry, my lower cabinetry is affixed to an outer wall. Okay. I think that's what is being referred to, Your Honor. Okay. Thank you. Now, they included a backsplash, but I did not ask about that. And they are just, they are describing the butcher block countertop that is currently there. I can move the refrigerator. They don't need to do it. I can roll it out of the way. There are 2 floor tiles that do need to be replaced. They want to seal around the baseboards they put in. It could all be done in a day. And if Mr. Guadron wanted to come back and do this to save himself the money, that would be fine. If he wanted to cover the costs of everything that I have had to do to get him into court today, that is fine. If he doesn't want to do that, L&I gave me the instructions to go against his $6,000 bond, and I can do that. I want him to just make it right. He's supposed to be a good Christian guy, according to his own testimony. He brings in in that text message thread about he's all about Jesus and things. Well, Jesus doesn't treat disabled veterans like this and leave shoddy work behind. And if he's worried about Facebook and this being on YouTube, I could do an anti-advertisement right now.
We are keeping it cordial, Miss Quiriconi.
I'm trying to.
Okay, well, let's just try a little bit harder, ma'am. I understand this can be very frustrating and it can lead to heightened emotions, but we're not here to.
He has a guarantee of labor for a year.
Okay,
To say that it's unusual circumstances. He can't get away with that because of where he chose to put the pipes and the bad way he fixed the floor. And then there's the matter of the outside hose bib thing. There was a perfectly good one in place, but he had to change it. I don't know if it's because its code has changed, but if code has changed regarding the things that are supposed to go around the pipes in the floor, I don't know about that, nor does the city, because that is code. And if there were a plumber supervisor on site, as is supposed to be required, they probably would have caught the errors. And we wouldn't be here today.
so Miss Quiriconi, you're telling me that you looked into his licensure and all of this, his status after the fact instead of before when you hired him?
That is correct, Your Honor, because I trusted him, because he said he was a good Christian man and he was all for helping people, especially disabled veterans.
All right, ma'am. So I see that information. I see everything you've submitted. I see the heritage. I will ask you really quickly though. So I'm looking at heritage. I see the first page. It doesn't say page 1 or anything. I just see the first page. Then all of a sudden I see a second page that says page 3, which is interesting because I don't see page 1 or page 2. And then all of a sudden I see a typed out summation of your costs, but I don't see anything that Heritage actually submitted for how much it would cost to remediate the issues you believe are at fault.
Your Honor, the page we're referring to that has numbers 1 through 9 on it, I see $4,983.08.
Can you please hold up that page, please? I'm sorry. Could you move back a little bit more? I don't see that. Maybe I'm missing it. Let me look again. That might be my fault. Let me go ahead and. Do you say it says 1 through 9?
Down here in the middle of the page, right there.
Yes, thank you. I'm just trying to find that page in the midst of all of these exhibits. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have everything. Right, well, that's interesting. I don't have that page. Unless you have a two-sided piece of paper. Nope, no two-sided piece of paper. Okay. I don't have that, Miss Quiriconi.
Does Mr. Guadron have it?
Do you have that, Mr. Guadron?
I actually had to leave for a work trip and I left my packet at home. I saw most of them, but
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't have them. I read through the heritage. Let me point out there it's heritage construction and they don't hold a plumbing license like I do.
Sir. I'm just gonna stop you for a second. I just haven't sworn
Yep.
you in yet. So before you talk, let me just make sure Miss Quiriconi's done. All right, Miss Quiriconi, I don't see that piece of paper. We can't confirm this with Mr. Guadron. I find myself to be sufficiently organized to not lose paperwork, so I will look again later to see if I can find it, but I have looked through all this documentation twice and I don't see it. So,
And I think I know the paper that you were referring to now that just showed the grand total of areas of my kitchen.
thank you.
Is that what it is? What that just showed the surface areas and things?
Mr. Clerk, Miss Quiricone, if you could just hold up for a second. Thank you. Clerk is going to. Okay, so now I have another copy. I have 2 copies of what you submitted. So now I'm actually able to double check everything that you've submitted. Is that also from Ms. Quiricone? Is it too? Thank you. So it is not in this packet. Oh, okay. So it was a 2-sided page, so it just got missed. Ms. Quiricone, I have found it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So let me go ahead and thank you.
A bad anxiety attack there.
No, I'm not blaming you for anything. I just had a piece of paper you provided. 1 page that's double-sided, and I think when it was scanned into me, the other side wasn't, but thankfully my clerk has found it. Okay, so the grand total based on this: detach and reset cabinetry, wood butcher block, detach and reset, countertop backsplashes, caulk installation labor, solid wood, detach and reset sink, tile floor covering. Ma'am, I thought you said that you had issues with little rings around pipes and baseboards.
That's part of the plumbing. That's part of the plumber's estimate, and we do not have the plumber's estimate yet because I have not gotten the actual plumbing estimate.
Oh, so putting in a hard rock maple solid wood butcher block pattern countertop has to do with plumbing. I just want to make sure because I need to make sure.
Okay, the plumbing is under the sink to replace the floor tiles that were not replaced when the repair job was done.
Okay.
They have to remove the cabinets. Thankfully, they're all IKEA. They don't weigh very much. It detaches pretty easily. It goes back in pretty easily. So they'll be able to take that out really quick and then remediate the thing on the plumbing. Replace the tiles, which are right here. They're 18 by 37, 18 and a half by 37. Big tiles. So, and I've had them, so I don't know why the floor wasn't fixed properly instead of just shoving a little thing in there with. Anyway, I have the baseboards to install. I had everything, and it wasn't done properly, Your Honor. And anyone can contract a plumber. Essentially, Affordable Plumbing is supposed to do that. But he used his trainee status to fraudulently do business with me.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Quiricone. Do you have anything additional?
Yeah, I believe LNI is coming after him to find him.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Guadrone, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Close enough. I have a hard one with that. My dad's from El Salvador. It's
So what is your-
Guadrone. You're supposed to roll the R, but I can't do it very well.
All right, sir.
Yeah,
you please
can I
raise
have
your-
some water? This is water. Can I drink it? It helps me. I'm sorry. I've been under a house 2 days working on some plumbing, and I'm having a hard time breathing. I breathe up dust and
All
stuff.
right, my
you know what I
thing
mean?
is, sir, that regardless of whether this is Zoom or not, this is actually a trial and, you know, your
Yes, ma'am.
financial
I just
responsibility is on the line. So
I'm
I
just
just
asking
would
if I
hope
can
that
drink the
you
water.
show just some respect to the courtroom setting.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
all I
Yes,
ask.
ma'am.
Okay.
I
So-
apologize. I just wanted to explain it was water.
All right, sir. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth during this whole proceeding?
Yes.
Could you
Yes,
please
ma'am.
state your name and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Justin Guadrone. And you said, I'm sorry.
Can you spell your last name for the record, please?
Guadron.
All right, sir, please provide your testimony.
I took some notes like an hour before a court, and I have them. I'm going to look at my notebook here. So Miss Caricone, we met on Facebook around November 27th, 2023. She asked me to come out and inspect for a water leak. And we didn't do any work. There was no work that needed to be done. And she gave us a positive review on Facebook. And then she called us back for an estimate. And we gave her the estimate 4/4/24. And the job was paid 6/12/24. I want to give you a timeline from the time we met to present. That was for the repipe 4/4/24, and then she paid 6/12/24. And then we worked on her kitchen. It was the quote was 4/8/24. Closed out the same day 6/12/24. She added her laundry room after that. We did the whole job. It says 6/14/24, and it was paid 6/14/24. She went ahead and added a bunch of miscellaneous handyman stuff, floors, the trim, etc. The invoice was issued 6/19/24, paid 7/22/24. Do you want amounts? Because I wrote down the amounts for these jobs, and I'm gonna go to the next page.
Sir, I guess I'm a little bit confused why these amounts would be relevant. I guess what's happening
Well, I was
is,
just explaining we had a stream of work, and then like months later, she came at us with accusations, and she was confronting us with all the stuff that she said I didn't do. I am a licensed plumbing contractor. I have over 6,000 hours, and I've worked for multiple companies, and my business is in more legitimate standards to object against her heritage construction. That's heritage construction. And then in their estimate, they only have 2 hours of plumbing that they put out there. So obviously there's not a whole lot wrong with plumbing in there. And in my contract, it says that we're not responsible for unforeseen circumstances in the event something goes outside of scope of work. So her complaints, in my opinion, is called an unforeseen circumstance, and I object to her entire thing. Since this court case, I've seen online that she's been in multiple cases with a bunch of people,
I'm sorry, sir,
a bunch of.
please. I don't want to hear any references to any other
Well, I'm
cases.
just
We're just
explaining,
here to talk about this today,
I
sir.
gotcha. Well, anyways, in my opinion, in my exhibits that I gave you, I sent Zach to fix the problem in her hole, and the garbage that she has in her driveway, we offered multiple times to help her remove it. I even offered her a trailer, and she's making some false allegations, false accusations, and I'm pinpointing. She said that there was no baseboard trim in her kitchen. Well, in that opening case today, I showed the baseboard in the background on my video, so you could see the baseboard that ran around the floor of her kitchen. As far as all of her objections against my plumbing company, she has no proof, just her word. No, she needs like multiple estimates from plumbing contractors. You know what I mean? Or like you said, from labor and industries. Her whole case is bogus. I object.
All
That,
right.
that's
So you have a guarantee of labor for 1 year. You say that unforeseen circumstances are outside the scope of this labor for 1 year. Do you agree that there needs to be some kind of ring around the pipes?
We siliconed those and we put succussions on them and we secured the pipes. Her drain had an S trap going down the middle of her cabinet. She was putting a brand new kitchen in, and we didn't want to crowd her kitchen cabinet with pipes, so we moved it to the left, and we secured those holes. And then we went down below her crawl space and we foamed the holes with foam. So no rodents, no bugs, no water. And if she does have a water leak, there's wood under there. It will get damaged anyways. That's a faulty complaint. I don't agree with her testimony. It's bogus.
Okay. The key to her home. Did you return the key to her home?
On this date, I wrote it down. We replaced her locks. 9, 10, 22. She paid 10, 10, 24. We ended up replacing the locks to her house and then the locks to the garage because apparently the cops broke into her house. Bunch of drama hit,
Sir.
and she got her keys.
Sir,
I don't know.
Well, her contention is that she replaced her lock so that you and your workers could not get in, and this was done. It says 3/19/25. I don't know if that's the day that it was actually done, the key plus locksmiths. Did you keep a set of keys from her house or something?
No, we just gave her keys, and then she paid the bill and went on our merry way. I am the owner. My employee gave her the keys. She paid the bill. Nobody's trying to defraud her whatsoever.
What day did she pay the bill?
The invoice was paid for the locks on the garage 12/12/24, for the door locks to the house 10/10/24.
And 10/24. And you said that you installed them on 9/10?
The door locks to the house 9/10/22 or 24, excuse me, that's a
24. Okay.
typo in my writing. And the door locks to the garage 9/19/24.
So 9/10 and 9/19 for the shop. It looks like that would be the outside shop and then residential. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you change the hose bib, sir?
She was replacing her galvanized plumbing, and the plumbing was up in the wall behind her cabinet. We would have had to cut the whole wall out to do that, to put it in the same exact spot. So we rerouted the hose bib to go into the crawl space to connect to the plumbing in the crawl space. And that's standard practice when we're doing a repipe, is to not reroute it through walls, to actually go into the crawl space. And that's how that one went down. Unless she wanted to keep the old galvanized hose bib, but she never mentioned that.
Let me just check this outline of pricing again, so that way if I have any other, okay, so let's see, she's asking for permit for plumbing. Were you supposed to obtain the permit for plumbing? Is that something that you had agreed upon in your contract?
We agreed outside of the contract that if we wanted to, we were going to add that, but no, it wasn't in the contract. You can read the contract. I don't mind getting a permit. She never brought that up in her text messaging or anything in her accusations. She's not shedding light on that with you. So the only thing we have is her word and her testimony on that. But I apologize. I've been going through a divorce and custody stuff and my own personal life. That one slipped my mind there. It's a
Permitting for
46.
plumbing her house?
Not for all of it, because I mean, I'm an honest John here. Her PRV valve and her the water heater area, that was all pre-existing stuff, and it was lower than a certain amount, but for the water part, yeah, you probably should have got a permit. I agree. Just running water lines to the house.
All right. Okay. And Miss Quiriconi, you paid $46, so you did get a permit for the plumbing.
I did before I could get it inspected. I had to get the permit.
Okay, so Mr. Guadron, would you agree that there should have been the permit for $46?
Yeah.
Okay. $46.80. That was the permit. Okay.
Right.
There's the key thing.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Guadron? I mean, I think you answered everything that I had, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Quiriconi, go ahead with any final comments that you may have post Mr. Guadron's testimony.
Yes. I have a whole lot of questions that are unanswered. For one thing, Mr. Guadron cannot even say when he did the plumbing. I don't know that he keeps any kind of records on when he does things, how much labor he puts into them. Your Honor, my house is really small. There are no more than 10 feet from my kitchen sink to the bathroom where he says he had to do things. He didn't have to buy any supplies, any PEX pipe or anything like that. And in fact, everything that was extra, he got to take with him. Nails, PEX pipe, fittings, all kinds of things like that. He accepted gifts, as did his one employee, although he refers to having like a whole, seems to want me to believe he has a whole bunch of them. So I don't even know how many employees he has.
Quiriconi, the amount of employees and the employees are neither here nor there. Please just stick to the matter at hand.
All right. So we have that I acquired that he took the quote on April 8th. You have my down payments, you have that I have been, that I've paid for everything. You have a picture of the incorrectly installed pipe. You understand that they're supposed to have the things around them according to code, although I cannot show you a failed inspection permit thing. I guess you either pass and you get the thing or you don't. I've showed you the exterior spigot that was existing there that he simply could have attached water to. Instead, he put 2 new holes into the side of my house and repaired the one in a really funky way and then left the old one, which is people are going to be confused by when I sell my house. It's unfortunate I don't have any pictures of him on the job site because his axillary area was showing all the time. He claims in his own testimony that plugging the holes is sufficient. But I had these tiles right here to replace it. And if they'd remediated the problem at the time, they might have noticed the little metal things around the pipes missing that are causing the issue. And they are not plugged at the top, Your Honor. They might be plugged below, but they're not plugged at the top. And there's no sealing around the edges of the wall. And if water gets out there, it is definitely going to ruin the sheetrock, which is unpainted. He claims he's done absolutely nothing wrong, but he's working without a complete plumbing certificate, without the supervision that he's required to have by L&I.
Can you prove that?
Okay, can you just talk to me, Mr. Guadron, please? Ms. Quiriconi, do you have anything additional to add? This is just repetition of what you've already said.
A fully licensed plumber had been on site supervising Justin, that the job would have cleared the inspector, as his supervisor would have noticed these very obvious issues.
Judge, in this case, I am the supervisor. I own the
Ms.
company.
Quiriconi, we're not accusing people. We're just trying to get to the bottom of the matter. So no more. Thank you. We're not talking about if he's a supervisor. We're not talking about his status. We're talking about this job, about it not passing inspection. and what needs to be done to remediate. Mr. Guadron, I do have to ask you, if you did switch out the galvanized plumbing and or the hose bib, why did you leave that one on the side of the house like that?
We didn't want to damage her siding, and we have in the plumbing world, you abandon the galvanized plumbing in the walls so you don't cause damage to outside siding, creating water leaks, creating more damage. That Hardy backer siding right there would have been damaged in the process, and we left it there, so we didn't. That would have been a change order to replace the siding.
Was there any discussion with Ms. Quiriconi about switching out the bib? Or was that just you taking it upon
I
yourself?
broke it down. I broke it down piece by piece. I'm pretty detailed person. I spoke to her just like I'm speaking to you and explained everything before we did anything, and she accepted it in person on the job site. I apologize that she's not happy, but I broke it down word for word what we were doing before we did it, because she's stressed out now waiting in her own house. She gets stressful and irate, so of course we're going to try to do it her way. I did the best we could under the circumstances, and it's an unfortunate matter, but it brought us to court.
All right. All right. I think I'm done with everything. I have all the information I need. So thank you to both parties for your testimonies. I'm going to go ahead and impart my judgment. So there's been a lot of information that has been provided. I think what it comes down to mostly is the heritage amount that Ms. Quiriconi provided in regards to remediation for work she thinks needs to be done to fix items that did not pass inspection. There was no testimony that was just aesthetically not pleasing or she just didn't like your work. It was specifically testified as to the fact that these little rings around the pipes weren't put in correctly and you didn't put in baseboards, and because of that, it wouldn't pass inspection. And so that's why she got an additional quote from Heritage to see what it would cost to fix this. Now, I think the main issue I have is this something that truly did not pass inspection, or is this something that Ms. Quiriconi did some research on? It's not meeting her standards of what she would have liked. That is why I kept asking, where is this inspection report? Where is this showing that it failed because of the plumbing? That repipe needs to be done. Ms. Quiriconi testified that she was able to verbally receive some information, but I find it odd that you were not able to receive anything memorialized in paperwork. I feel that when you fail an inspection, you usually get paperwork that outlines why you failed the inspection. I feel if someone's able to verbally tell you, they would have been able to put it in paperwork as well. If we are assuming that maybe these rings around the pipes were what would have failed inspection, I'm not knowledgeable about plumbing. That is not my area of expertise. Mr. Guadron, you seem to be an individual that has had 600 hours, as you have stated, or 6,000. I apologize if I skipped a zero. And you said that you had accommodated for the lack of these rings by foam, by silicone sealant, by doing something as such. So I'm not able to say if that is not sufficient to alleviate this lack of rings around the piping. I do not know. I also do not have an inspection report stating that it fails because of this. Because of that, I'm not able to justify Heritage's breakdown of what needs to be done. If we do go ahead and state that there is an issue with pipes and the rings, I do find it interesting, per Mr. Guadron's testimony, that in the Heritage breakdown of costs, there's only a plumber per hour. And it says here that it would be 8 hours repair under sink and cabinets, but I'm not quite sure what that entails. I also do not think that replacing a butcher block,
It's Not replacing,
detaching and resetting
putting it
sink,
back.
moving a refrigerator. I think that if you're stating that there are rings that are issues with the plumbing under your sink, that all these additional items need to be done. And so I'm a little confused. I would need a report to prove that that wasn't done sufficiently. I didn't hear any testimony that it's just not to her liking. So based on that, I cannot award the heritage amount. I don't have something to actually base it on other than testimony that one thing was insufficient would fail an inspection report. You stating that there was something that was done to actually pass inspection. I don't have a report. Otherwise, maybe I could award amounts. Otherwise, I cannot. Then we have the locksmith situation. I'm a little confused about the keys. I have here stating at 3/19/25 keys were that the home was rekeyed, the shop was rekeyed, and the residence was rekeyed. I have statements from Mr. Guadron saying that on 9/10/24 and 9/19/24, the residence and then the shop were rekeyed. But then it's interesting that on 10/10/24, which is almost a month later, Ms. Quiriconi pays. I'm assuming that if an individual didn't receive their keys, they wouldn't pay for that or they wouldn't hold out on that. So, Mr. Guadron, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm listening.
So, Ms. Quiriconi, I don't know why you're making all these statements. I'm showing that I still have audio. Mr. Clerk, do I have audio? Mr. Guadron hears me. So I'm sorry, Ms. Quiriconi, if you maybe push something, there is full audio. There is nothing wrong on my end.
I
I'm
can hear
sorry,
you.
there is nothing I can do. I'm showing that I am broadcasting audio fine. I don't know what's going on, Ms. Quiriconi. I don't know if there's an issue happening. Don't know if you can't hear me. I'm not accepting video footage. Okay, I will continue on then. Based on that information,
Oh, she's having a meltdown. Oh,
Mr. Guadron, let's not comment on that. There maybe are issues that we're unaware of. We do have to be
sorry.
for that. It's okay.
Sorry.
Ms. Quiriconi, do you need a second to? All right, I'm going to continue with my judgment. I do not know what I can do, Ms. Quiriconi. I am audio broadcasting just fine. I will ask again, Mr. Clerk, am I showing that everything's fine? I am getting confirmation that it is broadcasting fine. Mr. Guadron, do you still hear me?
Yep, I hear you just fine.
I'm not quite sure if you're not hearing me, Ms. Quiriconi, or something is happening on your end that you might need medical assistance. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what that answer is, so I will just continue. So based on that information, I'm not able to award the rekeying costs. There's just different testimony going back and forth, and I do find it interesting that if you were rekeyed 10/10/24 and you were rekeyed in September and then paid in October of 24, but then rekeyed in March of 2025, that is interesting that there'd be such a difference in time before you decided that it had been long enough to rekey your house. I just don't think that that timeline lines up to Mr. Guadron retaining a key and you being worried for your safety. Ms. Quiriconi, I must go on. If your computer is having technical difficulties, there's nothing I can do. Mr. Clerk, is there anything that's showing in the system that is an issue? No? Her audio is working as well? Or our audio? Okay, I will continue on. I will, however, award Ms. Quiriconi the amount of $46.80. That is the permitting cost. Mr. Guadron, there was discussion with you that should have been done. That might have been an oversight. I think that needed to be done to be able to continue with the plumbing. So I will award that $46.80 to Ms. Quiriconi. I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and give her that amount and her requested amount. I would ask Ms. Quiriconi about the skip trace delivery try. Was it difficult to find you, Mr. Guadron? Or what was the issue with
Well,
service?
right now I'm in Newport working. I travel. I between Springfield, Newport, Washington. I get around, so I not always home.
All right, so based on that information, I'm going to go ahead and award the principal amount of $46.80. That is for the permitting cost. I believe that is outlined by Miss Quiriconi in her.
How do I pay her?
So you would need to find her address, which I think is available on the small claims form that you received. And you could write her
Okay.
a check and mail it by certified mail. I think that would be able to reach her. But you have to make sure that you have to ensure that she receives it unless you want to call her and talk to her that way and transfer her money that way. So
I'll certify mail it.
okay, $46.80 is what she will be awarded for the plumbing. Small claims filing fee, first summons mail cost. She will be awarded the $35 just in the filing fee for this matter. And then there is, I don't know what skip trace delivery try is for $160. I will go ahead and award her just her service fee. It looks like she had $10 and $9. I will award her the $19.78 for the service that she has outlined here. Delivery try cost.
I'm getting my notebook and paper so I can write this down.
That's fine, sir. And I will award her a 9% post-judgment interest rate. It's okay. You will be receiving this judgment in the mail, but I will go ahead and tell you the total that you owe her right now, okay?
Yeah.
46.8 plus 35 plus 19.78. It would be $101.58, sir.
And I have a question.
Yes,
This is
sir.
outside the matter because she's suing my business and not me. Um, I went through a bad divorce and personal life. I'm actually shutting down my business and have a job, and my stuff is kind of been liquidated. What happens if I don't pay? Because I'm a single dad with a kid and a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'll pay it out of my own pocket, but it won't be able to come out of my business. It's been
You can
liquidated.
pay, your name and the business are listed, so you're able to pay. Ms. Quiriconi, if you could please refrain from
And I
any.
have a question though. Because of
Yes.
this situation, the way this has arisen. Has she tampered with her work or anything? Is there a way for this to be void? Because I don't trust her to not tamper with her work. You know what I mean? The way things.
Well, okay. I'm not offering any legal advice. All I can say is that now this issue has been resolved, so she's precluded from filing suit once again on the same matters.
Okay. All right, I'll get it paid, and
Ms.
how do I
Quiriconi,
call?
okay.
Go ahead.
So I think at the top of the small claims form, sir, there is her address as well. Let me go ahead and just pull that up. Oh, did Ms. Quiriconi just leave? All right, well, I am going to still state this on the record because it is something to state first and foremost. I reviewed today's exhibits and I'm adopting and accepting them as exhibits in this matter. Lastly, in regards to the appeal, I want you to know that Mr. Guadron, you have the right to appeal the court's decision to the Cowlitz County Superior Court Clerk. You must file a written notice of appeal within the next 30 days, starting from today. If you do not file a notice of appeal within the time allowed by law, you lose your right to appeal this matter, and the district court clerk will give you notice of appeal form at your request. All right. So
Thank
your
you.
total judgment is $101.58. That is the amount that you would owe Miss Quiriconi. I am just double checking the small claims form in this matter. Her small claim and her amended small claim, sir, do have her have her name and address in the plaintiff form, so you should
I
have that.
I have her address in my books.
Okay, so if you would like to pay this off right away, the amount is $101.58, $101.58. You are able to send it to her, and you can send it via certified mail if you want to confirm that she received it.
You said something about
Um,
9%. When does that come into effect? The 9% that goes on that.
That 9% would come into effect, sir, if, so everything is listed on the small claims information on the district court website. However, if you do not pay within 30 days, she does have means by which she can try to obtain that amount of money from you, and that is when the 9% post-judgment interest rate would be applicable.
Okay, thank you. I just needed to understand that part.
Yes, so right now it's not applicable. So I'm going to go ahead and mail this to your address on file in Kelso.
I moved.
Okay,
Um,
sir. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, Mr. Clerk, yes. So right after this, sir, please call the clerk's office here and update your address to them because you need a copy of this judgment, sir, okay? I
Yes.
just don't want you to release it over this because we
yeah,
are
I didn't want to.
streaming, as you are aware, and YouTube might be catching this. I do not want this information broadcast. So please just call the clerk's office and update your address so that way we can mail this to the correct place, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Have a nice day.
You as well. Mr. Clerk, can you please stay on the record? Thank you. Also in matter 25S000023, I am adopting the exhibits and accepting them as exhibits in this matter. Yeah, I needed to state the appeal thing. However, I think I missed that in the last one.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, next we have Judge Ricky. And he's really not happy with the lady he's got in front of him today because she's been blowing off court left and right. And you know how Judge Ricky feels about things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear all about his distaste and what he has in store for this little lady coming up right now.
Needler. It's case number 2024 CR 453. Amber Norris appears for the state of Kansas. Shannon Cooper is defense counsel. Defendant Needler appears from the Butler County Jail Zoom location. This matter comes before the court at this time for further proceedings. Back in February, the defendant failed to appear for a scheduled court appearance. Court ordered bond forfeiture, bench warrant, and no bond hold. The case was kept on the trial docket for April. At the pretrial conference, the defendant was deemed to be an absconder. Case was taken off the trial docket with the announcement that the case would be rescheduled for trial once Ms. Needler was picked up. The bond forfeiture, bench warrant, no bond hold order remained in effect. Eventually, obviously, Ms. Needler has been picked up. She's currently in the Butler County Jail. What announcement is made regarding the status of the case at this time, Ms. Cooper?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Needler wishes to enter a plea of no contest to count one. I did not hear back from Ms. Norris about whether she'd be willing to dismiss count two. If her answer is no, then Ms. Needler would enter a no contest to both counts, but we were hopeful the state would be willing to at least dismiss count two and schedule the matter for sentencing. We'd also like to address a bond being set for Ms. Needler today. I anticipate that she would be presumptive probation for this case.
And Shannon, I did respond, but it actually is saying that you're not in the meeting. But yes, that's
okay.
your request
Okay.
Your request is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Needler, it's been announced that you now would intend to enter a no contest plea and accept conviction for count one in this case. I don't know if you have your charging document before you, but count one is theft, a level 9 non-person felony. Is that indeed your intention?
Yes.
I've got a number of questions I need to ask you regarding the taking of a felony plea. If there's anything asked of you that you do not understand as we go along, I'll give you the opportunity to confer privately with your attorney again. Just let the court know if you need that time to get further advice, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your full legal name for the record.
Melinda Marie Needler,
How old are you right now?
32 years old,
What's the highest level of education that you've attained?
high school diploma.
All right. Do you believe you're going to have difficulty understanding any of the legal concepts we're going to be discussing in court here today?
No, no, sir.
All right. Have you ever been adjudged to be mentally ill?
No,
Are you currently under the influence of alcohol or any drug?
absolutely not.
Are you currently taking any type of prescription medication? Is that a no?
No,
All right. Are you supposed to be taking mental health medications that you are not currently getting?
no,
All right. So as you said today, do you believe your mind is clear and that you have a full understanding of what's going on here in court?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand the nature of the charge of felony theft as charged in count one?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you are not necessarily admitting that you committed this act, but you're also not contesting that you be convicted of this act that's charged by the state just the same.
Yes,
You also understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up any legal defenses that you might have had to that charge.
yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware that in a trial, the state must present evidence against you in open court, that any witnesses must testify in open court in your presence, that you have the right to cross-examine witnesses with the assistance of your lawyer, Ms. Cooper, and that at a trial, you could present evidence on your own behalf and subpoena your own witnesses to court?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that at such a trial, you personally would have a privilege against self-incrimination, which means that if you wanted to testify in your case and tell your side of the story, you could at your choice, but no one could force you or compel you to testify against yourself if you didn't want to. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up these valuable trial rights that the court has described.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that you have a right to a trial by jury, and that before you could be found guilty, that jury would have to be satisfied as to your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up your right to a trial by jury and that requirement that you be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to appeal a guilty verdict if you have a trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
You further understand that you may appeal your sentence after entering a plea of no contest, but generally you may not appeal your judgment of conviction after you enter such a plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware of the possible sentence that could be imposed as a result of this no contest plea that you're attempting to make?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go over those. This would be a level 9 felony under Kansas law. In the most favorable criminal history category of I on the Kansas Sentencing Guidelines Act non-drug offense grid, you could receive as little as a 5-month prison sentence. In the worst criminal history category of A, you could receive as much as a 17-month sentence. So the sentencing range is 5 to 17 months in prison, depending on your criminal history. As you sit today, Ms. Needler, we do not know with certainty what your criminal history is. You better than anyone else here really should know what your own criminal record looks like. But that will be researched by the Court Services Department, and based on the outcome of that research as of the date of sentencing, that will determine where you fall along the level 9 line, and then you'll be sentenced accordingly. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that if at sentencing, it's determined that you have 2 or more person felonies on your record already, you would be presumptive prison here.
Yeah, I don't have any person felonies.
I understand that. I just want to make sure you understand that if you do, you're looking at a prison sentence here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also understand that you could receive up to a $100,000 fine for this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
In addition to any fine, are you aware that you could be assessed and be required to pay court costs, certain fees, including reimbursement of your legal fees and expenses, and restitution to victims, if any are owed, as part of your sentencing orders?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also realize as a direct consequence of this plea, you will be sentenced to an extended period of reporting probation, reporting parole, or post-release supervision, which is your state parole time that you do after you get out of prison, as deemed appropriate by the court at time of sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that both probation and post-release supervision periods generally start at 12 months in duration, but can run up to 60 months under some circumstances.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand, Ms. Needler, that the Kansas Sentencing Guidelines Act is much more than that grid page that I referred to earlier. It's an entire book of sentencing rules and laws. Do you understand that if any special rules apply to you and your situation, it could affect your eligibility for probation or
Yes.
otherwise affect your sentence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had an ample opportunity to fully discuss legal matters like that with your attorney, Shannon Cooper, before
Yes.
proceeding here today?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the services and advice given to you by your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, this no contest plea that you're attempting to make hasn't been based upon any threat or promises as to what this court will do in regards to your sentence or any other type of threat or promise.
No, sir.
Is there anything that you thought was part of this plea agreement that hasn't been accurately discussed on the record already?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Needler, do you understand that if there are any plea deals between your counsel and the county attorney's office regarding sentencing recommendations, that this court is not bound by any agreements made? The court may and shall consider them as recommendations, but is not bound by them. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So let me ask you, how do you formally plead to the charge in count 1, felony theft?
No contest.
The state would provide a concise statement of factual basis.
Your Honor, on September 23rd, 2024, here in Butler County, as noted in the information trailer with a welder and some tanks and welding wands and tools, was taken from an address out in the county without the permission of the owner, who was Ben Griffith. And Your Honor, the trailer was located in the city limits of El Dorado within 24 hours of the taking. And the defendant was with 2 other individuals in the vehicle that had this trailer with all this equipment attached to it. And they were actively working on trying to appear to sell that piece of equipment either online or through electronic device, which showed that there was no intention for it to be returned to the rightful owner. And the value of the trailer and tools was well over $1,500.
Ms. Needler, do you now freely, knowingly, and voluntarily enter a plea of no contest and accept conviction for felony theft in count 1, a level 9 non-person felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cooper, are you aware of any legal reason why the court should not accept your client's plea?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Norris, are you aware of any such legal reason?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Needler, are you aware of a legal reason or any other good reason why the court shouldn't accept your no contest plea made here today?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Court will accept the no contest plea made by the defendant, Melinda Needler, and finds that that plea is made voluntarily. She has an understanding of the nature of her charge and the consequences of her plea, and a factual basis for the plea does exist. Court finds her guilty and adjudges her therefore convicted of felony theft, a level 9 non-person felony. Count 2 is dismissed pursuant to plea agreement. Court will order a pre-sentence report be completed to accurately determine Ms. Needler's criminal history, and the court will set an appropriate date for sentencing. We generally allow about 2 months for that pre-sentence report to be compiled and presented to the attorneys in the court. So we're going to be looking at early July. Also, if you check your availability for 11 o'clock a.m. on Monday, July 7.
Yes, that looks good to me.
Ms. Norris?
That should be fine, Your Honor.
All right. Court will set sentencing in the Needler case for Monday, July 7, 11 o'clock a.m. Obviously, Ms. Needler must fully participate in that sentencing proceeding at that time. It is contemplated that that sentencing be conducted by Zoom. Again, Monday, July 7, 11
Is there,
o'clock.
is there any way that, that we could, address like a bond with, if I get an ankle monitor?
Ms. Cooper?
Thank you. I would ask the court to consider that. Ms. Needler explained to me some of the circumstances surrounding her previous failure to appear. A person who was providing her with housing was also obligated to care for an elderly
Paraplegic
sick
man.
relative. And that person was in jail, so she took it upon herself to help with that sick relative. Was unable to come to court. She wants today to apologize for not following through or appearing until today, or until she first appeared. I think it might have been on Friday last week. But she assures me and wants to assure the court and counsel that she'll appear for sentencing. She'll cooperate with pretrial, with the pre-sentence investigation process with court services. She's sober now, wants to maintain sobriety. She's even looked into potentially residing in a halfway house. She, like she indicated a couple minutes ago, is willing to be monitored with a GPS electronic monitor to make sure she is where she's supposed to be at all times. So I'm asking the court today to set an OR bond, allow her to get back out and to get the treatment she needs, as well as participate fully in that pre-sentence investigation process from not in custody.
Does the state take a position on this request?
Your Honor, I would agree that the defendant will be presumptive probation from what I've seen in her history. Your Honor, based on the two failure to appear instances, one in February and one in April, I'm not sure that OR bond is necessarily appropriate, but I have no problem with the court setting an appropriate bond. I believe that this juncture, a no bond hold still remains on her case. Obviously, we've made some good progress today with the plea, so I'll leave that to court's discretion regarding amount.
Very well. Ms. Needler, earlier you suggested that you wanted to personally address the court about this?
Yeah, I mean, so, whenever, if I am able to leave here today, my plan is to go to stay at one of the Second Chance House here in El Dorado. I really honestly 100% was taking care of a 100% paraplegic man. I called my attorney the day that I had the first court, and I was minutes late. And she told me that it was too late already because I was on my way to her office at the time. I was stuck in Andover taking care of him at a hotel, and there really was nothing I could do. And because of me being scared of that warrant and of being in jail, that's the only reason I didn't come in. And I didn't even know about the second court date that you guys had scheduled. But I am willing to do ankle monitoring or whatever I need to do possible. But I really would ask. I don't have a whole bunch of money, but I understand it's probably going to cost me a little bit to get out of jail.
Ms. Needler, you said some surprising things that I'm going to comment on here. You were apparently walking and on some sort of device back in December when we addressed your case. At that time, the court accepted a preliminary hearing waiver. At your arraignment, a court date was set for April the 4th for pretrial conference and a status conference in which you were ordered to appear at the Butler County Judicial Center, not your attorney's office, but at the Judicial Center, was set for February the 6th.
Yeah, that's the
Docket
first.
notes from February 6th indicate that Ms. Cooper was late, so we didn't start right on time. You weren't there, and the court ordered bond forfeiture bench warrant on a no bond hold. Furthermore, docket notes indicate that we kept the case on the pretrial conference and jury trial dockets. So you had another court date set for April the 4th that you were given by this court back in December.
I know, and I
You're given
apologize.
2 court dates. You just told me that you didn't know about it. Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Okay, I apologize. I didn't realize that I had the 2.
Well, okay, if you showed up at either one of them, you'd probably be in pretty good shape right now.
I know, Your Honor.
The reality is you've shown yourself to be wholly unreliable to
That's why.
show up for any court date on your own.
Listen, Your Honor, I really, with the ankle monitor, and that way you guys know exactly where I'm at and that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Because there's no way to be able to lie that way.
And how are you in your situation going to afford the cost of electronic monitoring?
I get disability every month.
Hmm.
So I can pay the cost for it.
It could very well be that you may have to go through 1 or more assessments as part of the pre-sentence investigation process. If
Yeah.
you're in jail, Ms. Needler, I have no doubt that court services will be able to find you and conduct those assessments. If you're out in the community somewhere, I don't have that confidence.
Your Honor,
Further,
wait, can I say one more
you tell
thing?
the court as a explanation as to what you're going to do now if you get out. You say that you're going to go to treatment and you're going to go to a halfway house, but this case has been pending in the system for 7 months and you haven't done those things.
Yeah, but no, well, that's not true. If you can talk to Don Kirkman. I was scheduled to go to treatment on Monday last week. I already went and got my SAC evaluation. I already had a plan to go to Grand in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to a treatment facility. Like that was already in place.
Okay, but you're in jail now.
But
so
right,
you
and
can't
that's
go
the
to
only
that.
reason I'm right. That's the only reason why I'm not already there. And but those things were already set in place so that way I could get the treatment I needed.
All right. Well, I think there's a reasonable chance that I can keep you away from controlled substances by keeping you right where you are. I don't see any grounds here for an OR bond or even reinstatement of any bond in this case, with an electronic monitoring condition or not, Ms. Needler. I think you need to stay right where you are right now. I understand your attorney's request. I understand your statements.
Can I say
Even though
one more
you
thing?
were asking me earlier to listen, I have listened.
Wait, can I say one more thing? A very close friend of mine died yesterday, and I this is one of the biggest reasons I'd like to get out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ms. Needler, you should have thought about that before you blew off court. You didn't surrender yourself on this deal.
Listen,
You had weeks and
I
weeks.
did
you could have
surrender
tried to
myself to
make this
Don.
right.
I did
Well,
surrender.
I don't think you and I arguing are going to accomplish anything, Ms. Needler. Court's decision is that I'm not going to reinstate a bond. You're on a no bond hold order due to failure to appear, not once, but twice on court dates that you were given by this court. So the court's order is going to stand. You're going to remain in jail at this point. We'll address whether you're eligible for release at your sentencing in July. And again, there are implications and consequences to you not showing up in court when you are supposed to.
Can I say one more thing also, Judge Ricky?
You can go ahead and say it. It's not going to make any difference.
Okay, well, so a lot of my why I was having issues getting to court was because I was set to not have any contact with Matthew Denny, and that's where I resided. So I was having a hard time with housing then, and I have housing now.
Indeed, you do. Sponsored by the Butler County Sheriff's Office. And for the next couple of months, that's what your housing is going to be. All right. Request for bond, quite obviously denied by the court. The bond forfeiture, no bond hold order remains in effect, pending further proceedings in the case. And again, we've got our sentencing date set for 11 o'clock a.m. on Monday, July the 7th. All right, Ms. Cooper, anything further at this time?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Norris?
No, Your Honor. Thank
Very
you.
well. And the Needler matter will currently be in recess.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, she absolutely has housing for the next few months in jail. Judge Middleton, well, Judge Middleton has another one kind of the same, but you know how things go with Judge Middleton. Let's just check it out. It's all coming up right now.
Baby, you can have my come. Baby, I love you. All right, we're coming to the end of the week. We're all about out of gas. Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton. I guess I got this for Judge Pattison and for me. Are you Jody Lynette Wood?
Yes.
Miss Wood, there are two cases we need to get back on track. File 241559 FY alleges carrying concealed weapon. It occurred allegedly last July 8th. It was set for multiple hearings that you failed to appear for, and there were some previous bench warrants, and you were in the hospital, and there were some other issues going on. We were trying to get this going in February of this year and then in March of this year, and you didn't appear at a hearing for a pre-exam. We did a hearing regarding the forfeiture of your bond on April 23rd, and you or your bonding company did not appear. Your lawyer in this case is Paul Gibson. Let me ask a couple of questions. How did you come to get arrested last night?
They came to my house looking for somebody that was on parole because they didn't report.
And where were you living on Freese Road?
Yes.
All right. So the cops came to look for someone else and arrested you?
Yeah.
Well, shit, we're gonna do this again, huh?
Who are they looking for?
Yeah, I hear you.
My daughter's boyfriend, his name's Cody. I don't know what his last name is.
Brownridge?
No, it's more of a like a German last name. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I don't know.
you're all right. Which begs the question, if you were just sitting at home, why didn't you ever contact us or your lawyer? But I don't want to ask you that. I want to ask you that, but I don't want you to answer it. Mr. Stickley, the public defender, is here with me. I'm going to reset the pre-exam conference for May 13th at 8:30 and a preliminary examination if needed for May 20th at 1. How long have you been back at Freese Road?
Since the last time I seen you, I've been there.
All right, well, I don't know what happened, why you didn't come to these hearings or why you didn't call your lawyer, but we're gonna get the cases back on track. The other case is a disorderly person charge from Three Rivers that occurred allegedly in March of 2015. I think that's when I saw you last. No, on March 15th of 24. Again, the thing's about 4 pages long because it's full of your failing to appear. There must be 4 or 5 failed to appears in here. And I know you were having some issues health-wise and otherwise, but I'm going to show a continue or not guilty plea on the disorderly person. Which is 24543 OM. I'm going to appoint Attorney Paul Gibson. He's on your other case, and I'm going to set an attorney pretrial for the same morning as your pre-exam. Bond in that case is $250. We had hoped to get your bonding company to go look for you. We did a hearing trying to say we're going to cancel your $10,000 cash or surety bond unless you go produce the defendant, and they didn't do that. They didn't even show up.
Your Honor, if I may, regarding
Yes.
bond. I don't know if I don't know if she was originally referred to community corrections at all. But I don't know if the court would consider somehow potentially even a PR bond, especially if there is medical stuff involved, and maybe community corrections could help assist at least the first good chunk of electronic monitoring, and then that kind of wouldn't be an issue as far as where is she, and it would be a lot easier to document if she was in some sort of a medical facility and didn't make it to something. I know she wants to make the court dates. Just a suggestion.
Well, thank you. That's a noble request. In the disorderly person case alone, she failed to appear January 28th of 25, failed to appear for a pretrial on February 4th of 2025. She got picked up on a bench warrant and released. She failed to appear on February 18th of 2025. Then she got picked up and we had a bench warrant arraignment on February 25th. Set a pretrial for March 12th. She failed to appear for that. I did a show cause regarding the bond on March 23rd. She failed to appear for that. So she's failed to appear 5 times this year in the misdemeanor case. I didn't count how many times she's failed to appear in the other case. Her attorney is Paul Gibson. He lives just close to where she is. She's just out there in her house on Freese Road, ignoring the bonding company and waiting to get arrested. So your public defender has asked me to give you a PR bond, which I decline. Mr. Gibson can come see you at the jail. If he wants to make a motion to address the bond, we can do that. But I'm frustrated by the number of times you failed to appear. So decline the PR bond in felony case. Bond was set by Judge Pattison at $7,500, then it was reset at $10,000. And neither you or your bonding company apparently was too worried about it. They didn't show up at the March 23rd hearing. But you said you've been back at Freese Road since I saw you last. I last saw you, I think, on March 15th. And you've missed at least 2 hearings since then. So we'll get the case back on track. Your bond's $10,000 cash or surety. Mr. Gibson can come see you. If he wants to make a bond motion, he can. Otherwise, I will see you on Tuesday morning, March 13th on both cases. All right, good luck, Miss Wood. I didn't count how many failed to appears there are in the other case, but I think there's more than that.
It's only 10 or 11.
All right, and this is the kind of case that should be resolved for what it is, but I guess we'll hold on to her long enough to perhaps address both cases. Let's close the live feed.
Yeah. Well, just goes to show you, even if you're not showing up in court in Middleton's district, 3B in St. Joe County, you're probably going to get stuck like Chuck, just like if you're in Houston, Texas, or any other place. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hang out with Judge Van for the next little bit. Got about 50 minutes of Van to come, and it's all starting right now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
Dude, I will. Turkey season. Last weekend of turkey season. So I can, lose 5 pounds of sweat and 2 pounds of blood to mosquitoes and still not outsmart a bird that's got a brain the size of a pig. I'm not there. Mr. Carter, how you doing, sir?
I've seen better days, John.
I'm sure you have. Mr. Carter, just FYI, you got an attorney present for you.
Good morning, Mr. Porter. I'm Chelsea Stewart. Your family retained me about 20 minutes ago to represent you. So I just wanted to let you know you have an attorney and I'll be out to see you early next week, okay?
I'm not gonna be released.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately not.
No.
Your Honor, I was already off probation. My probation officer had already cut me loose.
Well,
And he turned this in. He actually suggested me to be R&R. And then I didn't show up for your court, Your Honor. I didn't show up for your court because they consolidated this. I went to your courtroom and they sent me upstairs. This is when I was sentenced for this charge right here.
bond's 10,000 on the failure to appear for the trial management. Your court date is May 8th at 9 o'clock. You're held without bond on the violation of probation by Judge Garcia. Your court date in that case is June 4th at 9 o'clock.
Oh my God.
My God.
I got a 10-year-old and an 85-year-old mother that counts on me, Your
5
Honor.
weeks away.
Mr. Carter, I'll be out there. We can talk about everything, okay? Hang in there. I'll see you
Maybe I
very
got
soon.
2 irons in the fire.
When the green light comes on, sign for your copy. Next,
I hope all the birds live.
Riddick. Sign right now. Stop. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Should be 2.
Stand out there beside the other one. State your name.
Samuel McClendon.
Oh, I love making fun of my liberal friends. All right, Mr. McClendon, you're fully court on a violation of probation for child abuse. You understand the charge?
Sir.
All right, sir. Judge, register before you held up on. Your court date is going to be May 15th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
When the light comes on, sign.
Well, May 15th. Yeah, okay.
Next.
Ms. Fambro.
Green light, right?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go?
I'm doing my, what you want?
I was concerned.
I'm right here. I told him to say his name.
I was talking about me being late. No, Ms. Fambro's never late.
If you want you to say your name.
Donnie Melton.
Mr. Melton, you're fully court on an out-of-county warrant out of Walton County for a violation of probation. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
In order held without bond, I'm going to honor that request, hold you for Washington, or for Walton County. I'm going to ask the Bay County Sheriff's Office to get you back over there as quickly as possible to the Phoenix Springs. I'm going to have you returnable to a first appearance judge. You're on before May 16th. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Hold it. Step on the X. When the light comes on, say your name, ma'am.
Deborah Fisher.
You're fully court for a resisting officer without violence. You understand the charges? That charge?
Yeah, but I didn't resist.
Okay, well.
It's okay. I deserve what I get, so I mean.
No, don't talk about the facts of your case, but don't worry about, that's for a different issue. That's an issue for a different day, but I need to let you know that the state attorney's office has made you an offer today. If you wanted to resolve your case, it would be a withhold of adjudication of guilt, so it would not be a conviction on your record. You would owe $400 within a year of today's date.
I owe four, I did, I'm not hearing, I'm sorry.
You would have to pay $400 within a year of today.
A year's today, okay, I can pay it today. And I don't go to court, I'm done.
You're
Okay,
done.
I can, yes, sir, I can pay it today.
All right, well, you don't have to, you've got a year, but you pay it when
Oh,
you
no,
can.
no.
Okay? All right, Ms.
Okay.
Fisher, I'm gonna accept your plea of no contest. I'm gonna withhold adjudication of guilt. It is not gonna be a conviction on your record. You got a year from today's date, to pay court costs and fines of $400. If you fail to pay, it'll result in a jail sentence of 15 days, so don't let it get to that point, okay?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Tracy Meduna.
Presenting for the court on driving under the influence. Do you understand that charge?
I understand the charges, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Pardon, I didn't understand you.
Have you been advised of your rights today?
Yes, sir.
You got a copy of your paperwork, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Deputy, criminal history, Ms. Medina?
Locally, there's a DUI in 16, Virginia 18 is a battery.
I said 5,000, court date is May 30th at 8:30 with random UAs and no alcohol. You do qualify for the public defender, and I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, so you have an attorney now. Good luck, ma'am.
She needs to sign again.
Step behind her at the signature pad. Next. Understand what you got a $5,000 bond. Okay. Next. Red X. State your name.
Says Everly.
Ms. Beverly, you're fully court on a fugitive justice warrant out of the great state of Alabama. I see that you have already signed your waiver of extradition. Deputy, do we have a schedule?
Yes, sir.
Hypothetically, May 30th?
That's fine.
All right. They're on their way to get you, okay?
It could be to the 30th of May.
No, it's already scheduled, but we just can't tell you for safety reasons.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Hey, but it's already scheduled. It's on the schedule.
Okay.
All right, step to your right to the T.
Also, I wanted to find out right quick, I've got probation here in Florida.
Uh-huh.
How do I do that? Just wait until I
It's within
finish?
72 hours of release. You haven't been released yet.
Okay.
Yeah, once you get through in Alabama, and if they let you out of jail in Alabama, you got to report to the probation officer here in Florida.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next. Say your name.
Williams, fully court for the grand theft of a motor vehicle. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
No, sir, all the things that,
That ain't what he asked you. He asked you, were you given a copy of your paperwork?
yes, sir.
Were you advised of your rights today?
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to different questions.
All right. Based on your application, I find you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, criminal history, Ms. Williams?
She's actually on bond with you for, looks like a DWLSR.
Case number now?
25-15-52 CT. He can hear you.
Miss Williams, I'm the public defender representing you today. It's probably not a good idea to talk about what happened today. You probably want to wait and talk to the public defender assigned to your case about the facts of the case. You understand?
Yes, sir. I'm just want to say one thing. The people that pressed the charges dropped the charges yesterday.
Okay, well, they haven't, because we wouldn't be here today. So, all right, Ms. Williams, on the grand theft of a motor vehicle, bond is 5,000, no contact with the alleged victims. Court date's June 16th at 9 o'clock. And on 25-15-52, I'm signing an order revoking release. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, ma'am. There you go. State your name.
Angela Sullivan.
Ms. Sullivan, you fully court charged of domestic aggravated assault. Also a use of a weapon during a felonious act, possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm or ammo by a convicted felon, possession of firearm or ammo by a convicted felon, and improper exhibition of a firearm or dangerous weapon. Do you understand the charges?
I do.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Sullivan, based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Question about that?
That's, thank you.
You're welcome. Deputy, criminal history?
20 domestic and a VOP, 17 paraphernalia controlled substance, 2 more VOPs, 16 domestic strangulation, violation of contact, intimidating a witness ×2. History locally goes back to 09 with meth and para.
All right, on the domestic aggravated assault, bonds 15,000. The display or use of a weapon during a felonious act is 10,000. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? So the stun gun is left at my house for defense
Stun gun,
purposes.
You're not allowed
Yeah.
to have a stun gun if you're a convicted felon.
Well, I didn't know that, but it's left at my
Don't
house.
talk about the fact of your case. You're admitting to felonies right and left, so don't just stop.
Okay.
You're on the
So
record.
could
You're
you
on the
please give me?
You're on the
Could you please
record.
give me a? Could you please give me an ROR on the charges, and I can fight the case from home? I'm enrolled for my bachelor's degree in business, and I work as an assistant remotely at home.
Okay.
Please.
No. On the possession of weapon by convicted felon, 5,000. Possession of weapon by convicted felon, 5,000. Possession of weapon by convicted felon, 5,000. And improper exhibition of a weapon or dangerous firearm, 5,000. Court date's gonna be
Okay.
May the 29th at 9 o'clock, no contact, directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim.
Okay, so the alleged victim is a 19-year-old that I'm gonna have to contact I'm gonna have to contact the victim for my son. She don't have a dad or anybody else, like they'll be gone really soon. So I'm gonna have to contact my daughter about my son. My mom is deceased.
Great.
That's the only phone number I
I'm
have.
without this one because you're telling me you can't have no contact with the victim.
What is it? Repeat that.
You're held without bond because you're telling me you can't not have contact with the victim.
I cannot have contact with the victim.
You don't seem to
You mean
understand
like
that.
the victim that like I buy her shoes? No, the victim that I buy her shoes, I buy her cell phone, I buy her
Buy her
car,
clothes,
like all
buy her
that.
clothes so you can do whatever you want. I get it. I understand. Okay.
No.
Good talk.
You need to wait and talk to the public defender who's assigned to represent
Oh,
you,
let it
okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Good
step
luck.
to your right and sign where the T is. You held, right?
I
I did.
cannot,
Thank you.
so I cannot contact her, like about my child, my 6-year-old.
No, you cannot contact the victim.
Okay, thank you.
Next. Red X. Here you go. Your second.
I've only been doing this for a week. Yeah. Miss Beaver missed me for a week. She got Judge Clark instead of me for a week. And I apologize to you, Miss Bambro. I'm sorry. I will not let that happen to you again. I'll be here. I know you missed me when I'm here.
I did.
Miss McLeod, how you doing there? Tierra McLeod, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, you're fully court charged with robbery with a firearm, false imprisonment, and battery. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you'll be given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy Colonel Chairman.
Less than 20 to power earlier this year. That's it.
On the robbery with firearm, bond set 50,000. The false imprisonment is 25,000. The battery is 5,000. No contact directly, indirectly, through a third party, alleged victim or co-defendant. Good luck now.
Red X. State your name.
Ms. McLeod, for the court charge, robbery with firearm, aggravated assault to commit felony, and false imprisonment. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, sign it.
giving copies of paperwork and advise of your rights. Is that true?
Got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, I got a copy.
Were you advised of your rights? The right to remain silent? He's asking you, were you advised of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. She does qualify for the public defender. I'm going to appoint a public defender representative. Deputy, criminal history?
25, possession of marijuana, 24 DWLXR, 23 no valid, 22 resisting. That's it.
50,000 on the robbery with firearm. 15,000 in the aggravated assault. 25 on the kidnapping. No contact with the alleged victim or co-defendant.
You said it was 25 on the victim,
On the
kidnapping?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he can see you. Yeah.
I wanted to wait until I can be able to speak.
You don't need to talk about what happened in your case today. You should wait and talk to the public defender who's going to represent you about that.
What he said?
Don't talk about the case right now. Wait to talk to the public defender. What was the court date, sir?
June 12th, 9 o'clock.
Thank you. Go ahead and sign where the light is for me. Red X, ma'am. State your name.
Sonia Smith.
Ms. Smith, before the court order accessory after the fact to robbery with a firearm. You understand that charge?
I didn't hear your honor. I can't hear you crying.
I am. Smith, before the court order accessory after the fact to robbery with a firearm. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, I see charge.
I understand you can get the paperwork and advise of your rights. That's true.
Got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you advised of your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your application, if I think you do qualify for the service of the public defender's office, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
She gave you a public defender.
Deputy criminal history?
19 Georgia, no valid, 15 Florida, domestic act, bat, and an old bat and 7. That's it.
Bond set at 15,000. No contact with the alleged victim, no contact with co-defendants.
Yes, sir.
Court date's going
Court
to
date.
be Saturday, June 12th.
All right.
June 12th.
Yes,
at 9
ma'am.
o'clock in the
Uh-huh.
morning.
You're about to get a copy of it.
Okay.
When the green light comes on, sign for your copy.
Right here?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Next,
Thank you, your honor.
Take care,
Red
man.
X, state your name.
Yes, sir.
Angel Farmer?
Ms. Farmer, you fully court for a burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. Get you that charge?
I have a question. I have court on the 28th to go to rehab. I was wondering, can I get pretrial release on this charge? Because it's on my own storage.
Let's go back to the original question. You understand the charge?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
You understand? Have you been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights today?
Yes.
Based on your application, I'd like you to qualify. Go ahead and appoint the public defender representative. So you have an attorney now. With that.
Thank you.
He gave you a public defender on this case.
Okay. Yes.
Deputy criminal history?
She's already in custody on a VOP.
All right, Ms. Farmer, so you're telling me that you're already scheduled for on that VOP to go to a vet inpatient treatment?
Yes, it's correct. The dirty cure.
Okay, well, hear me out. I'm gonna set you a $5,000 bond, so you're getting credit for the time you spend in jail on this charge as well.
Okay.
This court date's gonna be May 29th at 9 o'clock, but you can always resolve this case at that other court date. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
All right, thanks.
Step to your right to the T. Miss Roberts is not coming today, sir.
She's been ordered held without bond. Her court date is May 28th at 9 o'clock.
Step over on the X, face the TV, and state your name.
Sorry. Ms. Bell, how you doing, ma'am?
I'm okay.
You feel like you're full court on an out-of-county warrant for grand theft out of Walton County. You understand that, ma'am?
Correct.
All right, ma'am. Walton County has requested the honor of your presence. They've asked us to get you back over there so you can be seen by one of their judges at first appearance. So we're going to honor that request, ask the Bay County Sheriff's Office to bring back over there to return back on May 15th.
Pardon?
We're going to bring you back in front of a Bay County judge if you have not already been transported by May 15th. But you should be back in the Phoenix Springs by then.
Okay.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Mm-hmm. Next. Next. Red X. State your name.
Rihanna Renee Carmichael.
Carmichael, you fully court on an out-of-county warrant of Holmes County for what was originally a violation of probation on grand theft. You understand that, ma'am?
I do to an extent.
Okay. Well, Judge Roberts up there has signed an order asking us to hold you without bond and transport you back up there to Bonifay as quickly as possible. We're gonna have you returnable on or before May 15th if you have not already been transported. So you should be long gone by then. Ms. Fanbro can walk you back to Bonifay by then.
Step to your right to the T.
If they sign you out, I'll drive you up there. I'm gonna drop you off on the way up turkey hunt this weekend.
When the green light comes on, sign. Next.
And I don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
Next.
Go, Rob.
Come on, step in on the red X. There you go, state your name.
Mr. Morash, you're fully court charged with driving license suspended revoked. You understand that charge, sir?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
You got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes.
Or you advised of your rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you, so you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No, sir, thank you.
Deputy Criminal History?
South Carolina, 24 possession of weapon or ammo. Florida, 24 grand theft auto. He's on probation for that out of Osceola. South Dakota, 22 flee and elude DUI. Florida, 23 controlled substance. DWLSR and 22 cocaine. VOP 21 goes back to 20 in another county in Florida.
Bond set at 5,000 on the driving license suspended revoked. Court date's going to be May 5th at 1 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Jason Myers.
Mr. Myers, your fully court charged violation of pretrial release on a number of charges in front of Judge Register. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Judge Register is already held without bond. Your court date's going to be May 12th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step behind him at the signature pad. Will you step on the T? When the green light comes on, you'll sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Richard Levin.
Mr. Levin, your fully court charged driving under the influence. You understand that charge, sir?
You understand what you're charged with?
Oh, yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
You got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes.
Were you
Yes,
advised of your rights today?
yes, sir. Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you, sir.
You're fine. All right, Mr. Levin, based on your application, you've indicated you're going to hire your own attorney or represent yourself. Is that how you're going to proceed?
I believe so, sir. I got to get out and talk to my old lady.
Nah. I duck every time I hear somebody say that because I'm afraid my wife's going to be around somewhere.
I'm sorry, sir. My
Oh,
apologies.
you're fine. That's like somebody stepped over my grave. All right. Deputy Criminal History, Mr. Levin?
He just had a disorderly. He just got put on diversion for on the 17th.
All right. Mr. Levin, what brings you down here from Hartford?
I just came down for bike week. I was literally, it's not.
You're fine. You're fine. And you're just right across the line, right? I mean, it's,
Yes, sir. I was staying at, go ahead, sorry, sir.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm gonna set you a monetary bond of 2,500. No alcohol while you're on release, okay?
Yes, sir. My apologies.
May 30th at 8:30 in front of Judge Dyer. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, you're gonna sign. Next.
I would pay my
Red X, sir. State your name. Yeah.
Mr. Gray, for the court charge of disorderly intoxication and indecent exposure. Do you understand the charge? Charges?
Pardon, sir.
See the charges, sir?
You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray, the state has an offer for you to be able to resolve your case today if you want to. The offer from the state is 2 days credit for the 2 days you've already served. So it's time served sentence with court costs and fines due within a year of today's date as a civil judgment.
Amen, Your Honor.
I'm not going to revoke on this, Ms. Amber.
What you tell it?
Ain't doing it.
Are you acting up?
Not on this. Doing it. I'm not gonna revoke on this. I'm not doing it. This is, no, sir. Mr. Gray, I am not gonna do that to you. Not today.
I have prostate. I have a well-known prostate issue, Your Honor.
We're not.
And it gets away from me.
Stop admitting stuff. You want this plea?
Yes, ma'am, I want it.
There you go.
So.
You made me use white out.
I'm gonna accept.
I gotta have it talking too much, Your Honor.
You guilty. Miss Pamber talks all the time. She's just, I mean, she runs the mouth. I can't keep her quiet.
Lawyers do it. They get paid well for it too, sir.
They do. Lawyers do get paid well.
Yes, sir.
I think Miss Pamber was getting paid by the word also, but here we are. All right. You got $400 due as a civil judgment within a year. Good luck to you, sir.
Live long and prosper, Your Honor.
Step to your right to the T.
So
when the green light comes on, you're gonna sign. Next.
So happy. It's Friday.
Red X. The TV. The guy in the blue shirt. State your name.
Looks a lot like she does when she's not relaxed. Because you can't tell the difference. The easy kill. You worry about the ones that just don't give you the high or the low. They just give you the flat effect. Kind of like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she just said. Yeah. Mr. Trammell, you're fully court charged with possession of crack cocaine, possession of methamphetamine without script, possession of paraphernalia, possession less than 20 grams of marijuana, and habitual driving license suspended revoked. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, Mr. Trammell?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify, so I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir. Thank you.
Deputy, Mr. Trammell.
Georgia. Well, Tennessee 16 was a DUI second. Georgia 24 DUI DWLSR ×2 resisting. 20 battery, trespass, controlled substance, domestic hit and run. 17 another DUI. It goes back to 16 in Georgia with a shoplifting.
Bond set 10,000 the crack, 10,000 on the meth, 1,000 the paraphernalia, 1,500 on the pot. And they've charged you with a felony driving license suspended revoked. So I've got to give you a felony $5,000 bond on that one. Court date's going to be June 2nd at 9 o'clock with random UAs. It's directed by the court. Good luck, sir.
You're about to get you're about to get a copy of it. Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Johnson, for the court charge of robbery of firearm, false imprisonment, and battery. You understand the charges?
You understand?
Mr. Johnson, I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yeah.
Based on your application, if you qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No.
Deputy, criminal history.
Community control.
Case number now?
24-1238. CF.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Johnson, on the robbery of the firearm bond is $1,000. The kidnapping, false imprisonment is $25,000. And the battery is $5,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Court date's gonna be June 2nd, 9 o'clock, and I'm signing a warrant for violation of community control in 24-1238. Good luck, sir.
And step to your right to the T. Next, sir, state your name.
Jeffrey Norwood.
Mr. Norwood, before the court charges felony theft because of prior acts. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Paperwork and advisory rights. Is that true?
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, if I find you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, criminal history.
Georgia 24 forgery, credit card fraud, FTA 22, FTA locally 18, unarmed burglary, petty theft ×2 with a VLP, 14 controlled substance, marijuana controlled substance, smuggling contraband, DWLSR. It goes back to the 90s locally.
I've never had a drug charge in my life. I've never.
Okay, we'll throw the drug charge out. I won't consider the drug charge singular on that whole history.
Got a job yesterday.
We're gonna worry about the drug charge. Okay. Bond set at 10,000, no contact or being within 500 feet of any Dollar General. That pretty much excludes you from vacant.
I can't make a bond. And I just.
Okay, better news for me. June 16th at 9 o'clock.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Chancellor, court charge of possession of cocaine, crack, possession less than 20 grams of marijuana, and paraphernalia. Do you understand those charges?
I do.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Sir.
Where you got a copy of your paperwork? Were you advised of your rights today?
I was.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that, sir?
$3 down.
Deputy, criminal history?
I actually have him getting charged with VOP. I don't know if you have that. That's why I didn't write it down.
Don't have
21 meth para domestic, Texas 19 domestic. Locally, it's older, back into the 90s.
Your case number? 948 CF. Okay. Mr. Chancellor, you are on probation still. There was a warrant sent over, but it hadn't been signed yet. So I'm signing right now. So on the cocaine, bond is 10,000. The marijuana is 1,500. The paraphernalia is 1,000. Your court date's going to be June 12th at 9 o'clock with random UAs. But I'm signing, like I told you, I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation 24-948.
All right, step to your, oh, yeah, you got the court date. Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. State your name, sir. Your name?
Mr. Dominguez, full court charge robbery with a firearm, false imprisonment, and battery. Do you understand the charges?
You understand what you're charged with?
Ah, he doesn't speak English. I'm not since he was with
Me too.
Speak English. He was the only one that doesn't speak English. Yeah. Well, bond's 100,000 on the robbery, 50,000 on the false imprisonment, 10,000 on the battery, no contact with the alleged victim. Comprende? June 12th at 9 o'clock.
I'll have one of the deputies come over. Step on the T. Step over there.
He didn't have any questions.
State your name, sir.
Michael Clancy.
Mr. Clancy, on a fugitive justice warrant out of the great state of Alabama for violation of probation. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, apparently Alabama really does want you back. So here's the situation. The only thing you and I had to talk about is whether or not you are the Michael Raymond Clancy that Alabama wants. If you agree that you are, it's
Yes,
probably
Your
in
Honor.
your best interest to sign the 5 copy waiver of extradition, putting Alabama on the clock to come get you, giving you credit for that time you spent waiting on that. Otherwise, you risk sitting on dead time waiting for Mama K and Governor DeSantis to go through the process again in governor's warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you want to do? Sign? Wait.
No, I want to put them on notice.
Step over.
Step to your left, sign those copies.
There's 5 copies. Sign each one right there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May 30th is going to be his return date, Ms. Fanbro.
Yes, sir.
I don't like that. She's going to remind me that I called her Judge Fanbro later.
You could tell it's Friday because you are on one today.
I am on it and I'm ready to go.
Really? So
Yeah.
you used me. You didn't move this for me. You moved this for you.
I moved it for us.
Sign with the green light. Next.
Yeah, I'm in a hurry to go be miserable with. That's
Next.
pretty
Read
much the situation is when it's 85 degrees. Mr. Halstead, how you doing, sir?
17 Friday.
Okay, how you doing, sir? I'm good, Mr. Halstead. Straight report, a violation of probation was originally a felon in possession of ammo or firearm in front of. Let's see. Judge Stevenson, you've been ordered held without bond. Your court date is going to be May 29th, 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
29. 29.
May 29th.
Yep.
With the violation?
Uh-huh. Step away, wait. Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Riddick, sir. State your name.
Cagliano, before the court was violation of probation was originally an uttering forged instrument in front of Judge Register. Judge Register is already held out bond. Your court date is June 11th at 9 o'clock.
All right. Halstead, step to your right. Cagliano, step on the T. When the green light comes on, you'll sign. Next. Riddick, sir. Here you go. Face the TV. State your name.
Mr. Gant, before the court heard burglary with assault or battery, obstructing law enforcement officer, false imprisonment, robbery by sudden snatching, robbery without a weapon, child abuse, and felony battery. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you be given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, come on, Mr. Gant.
His history is juvenile, 21 simple assault, resisting without grand theft, 22 counts battery, 14 a battery on a public employee times 2. That's it.
On the first degree punishable life felony of burglary with assault or battery, bond is set at 100,000. On the obstruction of law enforcement officer, 5,000. The kidnapping, 25,000. The The robbery, sudden snatching, 5,000. Robbery, sudden snatching, 5,000. The child abuse, 25,000. And the battery, 5,000. Court date will be May 29th at 9 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party, alleged victims.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, sir. Here you step on the X. Say your name.
Mr. Rittman, you're fully court charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Do you understand the charge?
I do understand the charge.
I understand you're giving copies of paperwork and advise of your rights. Is that true?
That paper in your hand, you got a copy of it?
Oh, yes, no contact order, yes.
You're fine. Based on your application, you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No.
Deputy criminal history?
Earlier this year was FTA 24 disorderly. Prior to that, nothing since 12. And that was 2 counts of domestic and a DUI. Goes back to the 90s.
Bond set 15,000. Court date's going to be May 29th at 9 o'clock.
Is there a key separate with the guys?
There's a key
With
separate.
the, I know the girls, you said it. Okay, thank you.
You got us to victim and
Thank you.
co-defendant.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Step over on the T.
Yeah, step over a little bit more. There you go. State your name, sir.
Mr. Gold, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, how about you?
Living the dream. Mr. Gold, you're fully court charged with disorderly conduct, i.e. brawling, fighting in public, allegedly.
No.
Okay.
I understand you giving copies of paperwork and advice of your rights. True?
Got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes,
Were you
sir.
advised of your rights today?
What brings you to Panama City from the great state of Alabama?
I actually came on a beach trip after 4 years because me and my baby mom have been fussing, and that's actually why I was on the phone fussing in public.
Okay, well, was your baby mama with you?
No, she's all the way in Alabama, so like it was actually.
Wait. So you got in trouble fussing with her on the phone?
Yes, sir.
That's a powerful relationship you got there, brother. All right. Turned what was probably going to be a please be quiet into a trip to jail. Golden. Mr. Golden, the state has made you a plea offer for resolve your case today. I will withhold adjudication of guilt, so it will not be a conviction on your record. And
Yes,
you
sir.
would just owe $400 within a year of today's date, or do 15 days in jail.
I would do the money. Yes, sir.
Yeah, everybody's doing the money.
Yes, sir.
I just gotta tell you, if you don't pay it, we'll issue a warrant for you, okay?
Okay, that I promise you I'll pay it.
I believe you. You didn't enjoy last night's accommodation?
No, sir, I've never been in jail, so I definitely did not
Leave them
enjoy
like
that.
health review, they love that. Leave them, just. Leave them like you.
They was definitely picking with me a little bit.
All right, brother, we're gonna process you out today. You got a year to pay, you can pay online, so you don't even have to come back to pay. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next.
That's fine.
Red X, sir. Face the TV and state your name.
Joshua Badowski.
Court charged battery on a first responder, resisting officer without violence. Do you understand the charges?
I understand the charge is correct.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true? Yes, sir. Based on your application, unless you do qualify, I'm gonna go ahead and appoint the representative, so you have an attorney now.
Okay.
Deputy Criminal History.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm getting.
No, hold on, she's busy with somebody else now. She left me. Story of my
No
life.
history.
Mr. Vodosky, what brings you down here from Buchanan?
I was enjoying Black Week with my family. We was just trying to enjoy the evening.
27.
Onset on the battery on law enforcement officer, 2,500 on the resisting. Court date's gonna be June 16th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, you gotta sign for your copy. Next. State your name, sir.
My name is Raheem Wright.
Mr. Wright, you're fully court charged driving under the influence, possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana, and possession of paraphernalia. Do you understand the charges, sir?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Based on your application, you've indicated you're gonna hire your own attorney or represent yourself. Is that how you're gonna proceed?
Yes, sir.
Deputy Criminal History.
He just got put on probation with Dyer. It looks like a criminal mischief.
$25,2021. Amen.
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I could get a bond?
No.
Okay. Because I was already on their probation. How long would I have to stay?
He finna say the court date.
Well, your court date on the new charge is gonna be May 30th at 8:30. I'm not sure when your court date on the VOP is gonna be, but it's probably gonna be before then. So you can resolve all of them at that VOP date if you need to, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. So I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation in case 25-2021. That's the case that's gonna hold you in jail. To make sure you get credit for the time you spend in jail on the other charges, I'm gonna set a monetary bond of 2,500 on the DUI, 1,500 on the marijuana, and 1,000 on the paraphernalia. Court date on those cases will be May 30th at 8:30. Yeah, 30.
Step to your right to the T. He can hear you. Oh, you had another question?
Oh, no, I ain't have no more questions. Thank you.
When the green light comes on, you're gonna sign. Next. Step on the X. State your name.
Masters. Mr. Masters, full court charge of misuse of 911. Do you understand that charge?
You understand what you're charged with?
Yeah. I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Were you given copies of your paperwork?
Yeah.
Were you advised of your rights today?
No, I heard the Miranda thing in the room, that's it.
That's it. That's today, right?
Yeah.
That's what she asked you. So you did hear it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on your application, I find you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No.
Deputy Criminal History.
Got him on felony probation, 2 cases.
Case number?
22, 4121, 23, 472. CF.
All right, Mr. Masters, on the misuse 911 bond is 1,500. Court date's going to be Monday, May 5th at 1 o'clock. I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation 22-41-21 and 23-472. Good luck, sir.
State your name.
Mr. Irvin, before the court on possession of firearm by convicted felon, possession of ammunition by convicted felon, and carrying concealed weapon or firearm. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you copies of paperwork and advise
You bring it up on me, sir.
been advised of your rights.
Yes, sir.
You got a copy of your paperwork, sir?
I'm sorry, copy of
You
what?
got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Deputy, criminal history?
I don't have a complete history on him, sir. I'm sending it over now.
Based on your application, Mr. Irvin, you do qualify for the service of the public defender's office. I'm gonna go ahead and appoint the public defender representative. So at this time, you've got an attorney. You also have the option, if you want to hire an attorney later, if you need to, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, on possession of firearm by convicted felon, bond set at 15,000. The ammunition by convicted felon is 10,000. And the carrying concealed firearm is 10,000. Basically just treated it because they just charged him with the ammunition that was in the gun. I just treated it one charge. So I just split it out. That's my standard bond for that charge. So I just gave him the 25 basically in the 10. So they give you an explanation of why it's broken out like that. June 16th at 9 o'clock is gonna be your court date, sir. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sir. Next.
Y'all have a good
Ready?
Where to go if you don't know, since y'all are from out of town. So. What's up? I think it's 30 total, 35 total, 25 for the gun, or the ammo in the gun is 25 total, and then 10 for the carry conceal.
State your name, sir.
Mr. Lockhart, before the court order, moving a serial number from a firearm, resisting officer without violence, driving license suspended revoked, driving under the influence, and driving or racing on the highway. Wow. You understand the charges?
Yes.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
You got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. That's bad. Okay, all right, so okay, so allegedly you didn't remove the serial numbers. It was put like a finish on it, allegedly a spray finish on the slide. You're fine. All right, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, especially since the serial number on the frame was visible. So it's not like I don't think you were trying to hide anything, Mr. Lockhart. I think you just made a mistake. I don't think that one's not gonna cost you any heartburn down the road, I promise. But you got other stuff to worry about, okay? All right, Mr. Lockhart, based on your application, you've indicated you're gonna hire your own attorney to represent yourself. Is that how you're gonna proceed?
Yes.
What brings you down here from Auburn, Alabama?
Bike week.
Bike week. That's what happens. Deputy, criminal history?
Alabama DUI 24 and 25. Intox 14 and 24. And that's it.
On the altar or on the bed liner over the one set of serial numbers on the firearm, I'm gonna give you a monetary bond of $500 to reflect what I think of that case. On the resisting officer without violence, $1,500. On the driving license suspended revoked, $2,500. On the driving under the influence, $5,000. And on the racing on the highway, $2,500. No alcohol while you're on release. Your court date's going to be May 29th at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
All right, step to your right to the T.
Mr. Lockhart. Mr. Lockhart.
Sorry.
Roll tide. Roll tide, sir.
Roll tide. What's going on? It's still young, roll tide.
All right, when the green light comes up.
Done, Miss Fanbro.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
What? What's happening? Why is my thingamajiggy not working? I don't understand. Everybody, you have to stay calm. I'm missing all sorts of things. Oh my Lord. So here's the $8 million question. I've been provided more. This is what I was looking for. We're going to play this while we have a talk. We can give up, we can stop here because it's been a long day. It's already been a long day. But I think I have more. And I can possibly do more. If you want to see more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Back up. Yeah, that was just a teaser. Just a teaser. I mean... the secret ingredient of my broadcast is VLC. That is true. So, yeah. Everybody, you can leave if you want to, but I was missing some critical things like the 30th and the 1st, so I didn't really like piece a bunch of van together like I kind of wanted to. I just kind of, you know, really put together a little bit of van from Friday. So, do you want to see what happened on Thursday? I hear from a certain Zach, law nerd, that it was really, really good. And I really got nothing to do. I got nothing to do, you guys. We've lost a few people. That's cool. Go longer, maybe we'll get a few back. What do you think? Mom says roll it. All right, if I roll this, I'm going to come next door and I'm going to change your vacuum bags so you can roll that while we're doing all of this, because I'm going to do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going long. We're doing extra. It was bike week in Panama City, Florida. I didn't realize that. That's a big deal. Big news. Rhonda says go. Mom says go. Zach gave it to me, so I know Zach says go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Bay County first appearances. From this week, from Thursday, May the 1st. It's May Day, ladies and gentlemen. May Day. And it starts right now. Oh yeah, it's raw and unedited.
Good morning, ma'am.
Completely
Good
raw.
morning.
And
How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Just happy to be here.
Yes, Peachy. Yes, sir.
They're celebrating May Day today over here. There's a Hawaiian shirts. Got ladies.
Where's yours? Where's yours?
Upstairs, actually. I just thought it wouldn't be appropriate to wear it to court. But I do have one. Actually.
I'm not shocked.
Okay. Is this one for, you're done?
No.
Ms. Gonzalez, you're before the court on a violation of court order for attempted burglary and occupied dwelling while armed. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
The order you held without bond. The court date is going to be May the 22nd at 9 o'clock. Do you have any questions?
The court date is May 22nd. Do you have any questions? Nope. Give us a moment.
Yeah. They're making ice cream upstairs. Oreo cookies, berries and cream. Different kinds. Upstairs. Yeah. It's crazy. It's off the hook. Walking around handing out lays. Just, it's bizarre. I don't know. What's May 1st? What's May 1st?
I think it was made up.
Is a made up holiday? I like made up holidays. I do like making up. I made up one myself. Dingo Day. That's right. June 12th. Dingo
Actually,
Day.
May Day may have started with the communists.
Yeah, I think right, but why are we then? It's a communist celebration, but why are we doing Hawaiian?
Because it's International Workers' Day. It's not communist celebration anymore. It's International Workers.
I'll accept that. Look, it's better than any other explanation I've heard.
Are they calling it a dictator or something?
I've got
happy about it.
I've got my Hawaiian shirt. I've joined in with the solidarity of the people. Oh my gosh. So the next one.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there were two people standing outside of customer service, just going at it. Just, I mean, back and forth, and she finally just goes, "Take your Payless shoes out of here." And I'm just like, I don't need to be around this anymore. I mean, of course, I was watching intently because I love it. Cannot look away. It's like a train wreck. Oh, Jordani, raise your right hand for me. Tell me, swear or affirm you truthfully and accurately interpret the conversation report in the defense today.
I do.
All right. Ask him to say his name for me.
Dígale su nombre al juez.
Roger Chaparro. Roger Chaparro.
Judge, he's my client.
You can see an accident involving serious bodily injury.
Yeah.
A usted se le acusa de abandonar de un accidente que tenía graves corporales.
Dumping litter.
Tirar basura.
Without a permit.
Your Honor.
And then a citation for violation of financial responsibility and liability.
Abandonar el lugar de los hechos y también un citatorio por incumplimiento de responsabilidad financiera.
I understand he's been given copies of paperwork and advised of his rights.
Entiendo que se le dio copia del papeleo y se le notificaron sus derechos.
Mr. Raymond, you represent Mr. Chaparro?
I do, Your Honor.
Y señor, su señoría.
Judge, my understanding is that he has retained the firm and works in the state of Texas and would like to go back to Texas for work when he gets out on bond.
Su señoría, según entiendo, él ha contratado a nuestro bufete, él trabaja en Texas y le gustaría regresar a Texas para trabajar cuando salga bajo fianza.
He shows no history.
Not real confident he's going to show up in court since he didn't say the same.
Judge, he did. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to let you know he did self-report to the jail.
Okay. Bond set at 25,000 on the leaving scene with serious bodily injury.
Bien, la fianza son 25,000 en el caso de abandonar el lugar de los accidentes, dejando graves daños corporales.
5,000 for leaving part of the car at the scene.
5,000 por dejar parte del carro en la escena, en el lugar.
Yeah. And 2,500 for the liability issue.
Y $2,500 por el asunto de la responsabilidad.
Court date will be June 16th at 9 o'clock.
Su próxima audiencia va a ser el 16 de junio a las 9 en punto.
Buenas suerte.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And Your Honor,
come on, Mr.
Thank you, Jordy.
Next.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Boyski, come on.
Fiamma.
Right there.
Hold up back there at that line. Yeah.
Say your name.
Thomas.
Mr. Shimborski,
Yes.
you're for the court on failure to appear for a criminal mischief charge. You understand that, sir?
What was it?
You understand that you're before the court for failing to appear on a criminal mischief?
I better know that terminology. I had no, in West Palm Beach, I never went back to, before my ID and my social security because I lost it, it was stolen. And then so happened in Volusia, same thing, I couldn't, go back to court to verify that I had my, my ID and my social security. I'm trying to get my social security right now. I was over by the gas station, all kind of stuff. I guess I was walking around at night because I needed to get a job. I need a phone and a computer before I get my application, whatever it's called about that. And then, yes, most definitely, I was walking around. I guess I was different on the sidewalk. I was a sidewalk guy at night, and then, yeah, I guess it was mischief or something. Yes, sir. Over by the trespassing, over by the cops over there, by the gas station Murphy, over in Panama City is what just happened, I guess. That's Mark.
That is a lot to unpack. Mr. Shimborski.
Yes, sir.
The state has made you an offer. If you want to plead to time served, they will release you from jail with credit for the 1 day that you spent in the Bay County Jail, court cost fine, and restitution totaling $500 we do 1 year from today.
What's it about? I can clear something up in court is what I needed. You know what I mean? I need to clear up that Volusia stuff, whatever it's called.
Volusia?
Oh, they had a warning. They had, the leverage warning because they had a warrant out because I never returned back to court and all kind of things like that. If you know about it. Like,
this is only for Bay County.
I like all
this is only for Bay County. We don't care about Volusia County today. This is only about Bay County.
So it just happened to over by the Murphy gas station we were talking about. That's Mark.
I didn't want to mislead you. I don't care about Volusia County any day.
Okay. Just the Murphy gas station where the cop found me. Is that what you're talking about? That's Mark.
Bond's 2,500. Court day is May 2nd at 8:30. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. 7:20. That's not another Volusia. Thank you, sir. 7:20.
Say your name.
Mr. Knopf, before the court on driving under the influence and driving license been revoked as a second or subsequent offense. Do you understand the charges?
I understand, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Sir?
You got a copy of the paper?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on your application, I find you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Yeah, your criminal history, Mr. Knopf?
We got him on bond in 2 different case numbers, and he has an MTA on another DWLSR.
Case numbers.
Notice to appear. The bond is 25-1012 CF and 25-779 MM.
Your Honor, I had just got my license. They said it was, I have a court case coming up about my license and I had got everything fixed. And I don't know how it's.
Mr. Knopf.
I don't even know how it's.
Mr. Knopf, you may just want to wait and talk to your public defender about all that, okay? Today's not the day.
Yes, sir.
Bond at 5,000 on the DUI, 2,500 on the DWLSR. Court date's gonna be May 30th at 8:30. No alcohol. I'm revoking and releasing 25-1012 CF, 25-779 MMA.
What?
He revoked your release on the other charges. Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign for your copy. Next. Red Exo. State your name. Here's your name.
Mr. Kirkland, from the court to possession of firearm by convicted felon in an open count of murder. Do you understand the charges? Yes. I understand you can copy the paperwork and advise of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Or you advise of your rights today?
This is why I was up from 12:30 on last night, signing warrants and being harassed by the local law enforcement agencies.
It's up at 4:30.
I'll beat you. But coffee is a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right, the state has filed a motion for pretrial detention. I'm going to grant that motion. I find that no reasonable bond can assure A, your appearance in court for the serious nature of the charge, or B, protect the community. Your order held without bond. Your court date's going to be May the 29th at 9 o'clock. Based on your application, you do qualify for a public defender. I'm going to go ahead and grant that and allow a public defender to represent you in this matter going forward. The state will either indict or choose to file an information charging the level of offense that they choose.
Step to your right, sir. Next. Next. Red X, sir.
I mean, it's surprising.
State your name.
Brandon Stanley. Mr. Stanley, you're fully court charged to grant theft. You understand the charge? I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes.
All right, your attorney is here present. Herb, what did you tell me?
He was made aware. We contacted him saying he had a warrant, and he came straight in to surrender himself. And he's hired us to resolve the case for him. So he's not a flight risk. He wants the case resolved. He lives in Mississippi. So I would just ask if you set a bond, would it be minimal?
There's a tractor. Oh, $30,000 tractor. So that's probably one of those 40-horse ballpark. It's a nice Kubota.
Yeah.
You got a cab? Air conditioner? I need an air conditioner cab. That's what I need. You know what I mean? It's brutal. It's brutal out there. All right, deputy, criminal history, Mr. Stanley.
He shows that obscene communication ×2 out of Mississippi and 22, and that's it.
All right, pretrial release. Pretrial release officer before 9 o'clock tomorrow. No contact with the alleged victim except through proper channels through his attorney and discovery process. And court date's going to be May the 29th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, ma'am. Here you go, face the TV and state your name.
Lakin Finch.
Ms. Finch, you're fully court charged domestic violence battery. Do you understand the charge, ma'am?
I'm sorry.
Do you understand what the charge is?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the service of the public defender's office. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want felony probation.
This happened at Bambi's? You can't even get a Bambi's without getting hit? Allegedly.
Am I able to speak, sir?
You got a case
You
number?
can talk to your public defender about your case, okay?
24-17-27 CF. You're allowed to speak with it. If I wouldn't about the case, but you can. You've already been told, don't
Yeah.
self-incriminate.
I just had something to say about the officer that issued the warrants. He spoke with me on Monday and he was supposed to be dropping the warrants on Saturday when he came back to work because I got falsely identified.
Okay, well, here we are on Thursday, and he hadn't done that.
Yeah, he said he's coming back Saturday, the Christopher Brown.
Well, that's unfortunate. All right, Ms. Finch, bond is $5,000, no contact with the alleged victim. Case is going to be set for arraignment on May 30th at 8:30. And I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation 24-17-27. Good luck, ma'am.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, state your name.
Birch, you're fully court for trespass and disorderly intoxication. Do you understand those charges?
Yes.
Ms. Birch, the state has made you a plea offer. If you wish to resolve this case today, the state would give you credit for time served on the trespass, and they would drop by filing no information on the disorderly conduct charge.
Okay, I'll take it.
Also, you can get out
My
of jail
dog's
today.
in the pound.
Okay?
My
Get out of
dog's
jail,
in the pound.
and the only thing
and,
that would be first is that you pay $400 within a year.
Okay, I can pay the money. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get my dog out of the pound. It's $200 and I'm broke right now, but I'm planning on getting this job at Starbucks, making $20 an hour. I applied for a job at Starbucks and I have an appointment with an interview date.
I hope you get it.
I hope so. Yeah.
I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, withhold adjudication of guilt, so it will not be a conviction on your record. The state has filed no information on the disorderly conduct, so they are dropping that charge. You're ordered to spend 1 day.
Appreciate it. And I'm sorry.
1 day in the vacant jail, credit for the 1 day, so it's a time served sentence. Also, you got to pay $400 within a year of the day, okay?
Yes.
Now, the only way this is going to bite you is if you don't pay, there's a 15-day suspended sentence. So don't do that, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Ms. Birch, and I hope you get your dog back.
I'll try. His life is dependent on me.
Step to you right to the T.
How old is he?
Oh, he's 6 years old. I've had him for 5 years.
Yeah,
I think they should give him a lecture.
I adopted him when he was a baby.
Step over to you right. When the green light comes on, sign. Oh, you cut your hair, Melinda.
Yeah, Miss Pembroke, why don't they give him it off the bench? I don't know why. You know, I can't stand those rams.
How you doing, Laura? Always good to see you. Always
Judge Van.
a fellow ginger.
Judge Van.
Ms. Roberts.
When you look at the body cams and then they first got there and they said a woman and a little girl seen the guy Gabriel urinating, that he had exposed himself, and it's on their body cams. And then the next thing I know, they take like 10, 15 minutes and Gabriel's sitting there bragging that he knew the woman cop on the scene. And they come back over there and they start asking me questions and try to lie and say it was me.
Okay.
Body cam that they reported it was Gabriel, and I heard, I don't have vision, and I heard him urinate, I can hear him.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, Judge Van. I dealt with a crooked cop since 2003 that I reported to President Obama.
How'd that work out?
The dope off the scene with the Hells Angels that what happened to me during bike week in 2003.
Everybody's out for Bay County. Hells Angels don't.
No, what I'm saying is in 2003, from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, I was at the Hells Angels, and those crooked cops waiting at Wendy's trying to get the dope off the scene with 2 other cops. I turned everything in to President Obama.
Okay.
I went all the way to Washington, D.C. and reported every bit of the information.
Why'd you come back?
Because Judge Overstreet told me I'm more than welcome to be here.
No, I know. I'm not saying. I'm just curious. I mean.
Yeah, it's okay. Judge Overstreet. He's on the bench and was retired.
Yeah.
He's the one that told me I'm more than welcome to be here. I was a functioning citizen, didn't do a damn thing wrong.
I'm not telling you can't be here. I'm just why you came back if you're going to live on the street. But
I've been since Hurricane Michael. I had a house, a caretaker, and a cook. Okay. I can't help the weather conditions.
But Hurricane Michael was in 2018.
Judge Van, I work with Jessica Doorway as my witness. I call Miss Doris. I call everybody with waiting list, anything I can afford. On the 4th, I got on the 4th, I had saved up money And then all of a sudden, they even call crooked cops. They all get the death penalty. I have 2 cops that told me every time they steal from me or do anything, there are 2 cops on the beach, that they implement my blindness. I'm a tailgate kid, and then they get the death penalty. They stole over $3,000 from me. They even
Okay.
called a crooked cop.
Ms. Roberts.
Uh-huh.
I'm required to let you know that the state has made you an offer if you want to resolve the case today.
No.
Good.
I'm listening.
No, there's a probation.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Case number? Who put her on probation?
Exactly. Who put you on probation, Melinda?
Judge Stevenson.
24.
And seeing he had Judge Van, I have a right.
3009.
He's reinstated people more than one time, and I'm out there doing as best I can do.
That's right.
And the other people, I got case in point. Whenever I was here last time, he reinstated somebody a second time, Judge Van. And
I hope
I
he
made
reinstates you a second time.
Huh?
I wish you the best luck. I hope he reinstates you too. All right, ma'am.
So what they
I
do, they
said-
revoke my probation?
Hold on, I
Yes,
don't know.
ma'am. I've set you a bond on this, so you're getting credit for the time you spend in the Bay County Jail on the misdemeanor. Your court date's gonna be tomorrow, May 2nd, 8:30 on the misdemeanor. And there's a warrant for violation of probation, 24/30/09.
What was the bond on this one? 5? Thank you. 5. You can pull her out. I'll sign it. I'll sign and get her paper.
It was what now?
It's 5,000. I'll sign it for you though.
These are my this probation only.
This probation is hold without bond, but the case, whatever it was, is 5,000. Next. Next.
Ms. Jones, before the court charge of burglary of an occupied dwelling while unarmed and criminal mischief. You understand those charges?
Not so much, no, with the dwelling part, I don't understand.
Okay. I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
You got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes.
Were you advised of your rights today?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Based on your application, I find you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Oh, yes, fine, thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
FTA 18 and 22, 21 child neglect, DWLSR habitual and resisting. That's it.
Bond set 10,000 on burglary, 2,500 on the criminal mischief. No contact with the alleged victims. Court date's going to be June 16th at 9 o'clock.
That to your right to the T.
So I don't have bond or anything?
12.5. Yes, ma'am.
12.5.
That's your bond, 12,500 total. State your name, ma'am.
Emily Mabel Pilkington.
Mr. Pilkington, you're before the court on a out-of-county warrant out of Okaloosa for violation of probation. You understand that, ma'am?
I understand.
Judge Clark over in Okaloosa County, not to be confused with our Judge Clark, has already held without bond. We're going to honor that request, hold you for Okaloosa County, and have the Bay County Sheriff's Office coordinate transport back over there as quickly as possible. So, court date's going to be no, June 8th or next week? Go on, see at least.
15.
Okay, May 15th is going to be your return date. Ms. Bamber. She can get you over there.
Mr. Paul is over. What? What you want?
To Okaloosa?
I'll be on a flight on those dates. I'll be on a flight. I'll be on a flight. I'll be on a flight on those dates. But listen, Mr. Paul is over there somewhere.
Yeah, he's in front of Judge Clark. They got some kind of hearing, but he's held without bond. But yes, they transported him over here. I think it's a plea
Yes.
hearing. He failed to appear for his jury trial.
Yes. All right, next. Red X, sir. Face the TV, state your name.
Bradley Smith. Mr. Smith, before the court charged domestic violence battery by strangulation. You understand that charge?
I didn't hear what he
You
said.
understand what you're charged with?
I didn't hear what he said.
Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, I hear. Yes, I hear. Sorry.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, finds you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Deputy Commissioner.
23 FTA, 21, conditional release for domestic violation, a domestic battery, possession of weapon or ammo, 18, contempt, domestic assault, 19 in Texas, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Bond said 25,000. Court dates May 29th, 9 o'clock. No contact, directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim.
Is there any way I can get a less bond, or do I gotta go to a different court for that?
Yeah, there's a way. You don't have to have records.
Oh, I was just asking questions. I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out. So am I done there?
Yes, step to your right. Sir, Mr. Bryan, declined to come down today. Huh?
Does he have like any open cases?
No, which is shocking. He does not have anything open, just, but his history is 3 pages of the same.
Just, he's a frequent shopper at different box stores around this area. All right, on the felony petty theft for priors, bonds 15,000. On the resisting without violence, 5,000. No contact with the alleged victims. Court date's gonna be June 2nd at 9 o'clock on the felony, May 2nd at 8:30 on the misdemeanor.
Yes, sir.
It is kind of
Step
shocking that
up.
he has.
State your name, sir.
Mr. Hofstad, from the court, charged possession of cocaine and possession of paraphernalia. Do you understand those charges?
Sir?
You understand what you've been charged with?
Oh, yes, sir.
Got a copy of your paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, if unless you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Deputy, criminal history?
Probation.
Case number?
21, 1458 CF.
All right, Mr. Hofstad, on the cocaine, bond is 5,000. The paraphernalia is 1,000. Court date's going to be May 29th at 9 o'clock, and I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation 21-14-59, 58.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Roger Barnes.
Mr. Barnes, for the court on a violation of probation for what was originally a grand theft of an automobile in front of Judge Clark. You understand that, sir?
You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you make too much money to qualify for a public defender, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, in which case you can reapply now. Judge Clark and his infinite wisdom where you have that wrong. Your court date is May 21st at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, sir. State your name.
Kenneth Turner.
This attorney from court on a slight probation, originally a domestic violence battery. We're held out on your court date is May 21st at 1:30. Good luck, sir.
Step behind
What
him. May 21st, 1:30. Step behind him. Next. Red X. State your name.
Sequoia O'Neill Taylor the first.
Mr. Taylor, from the court on a violation of probation was originally driving under the influence of property damage. You were held out bond. Your court date is going to be May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Step to you. You're about to sign for it. Just step behind him. No, not yet. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Chicago.
As far as for the court on out of county warrant out of Holmes County, signed by Judge Taylor. And they still want you, according to the teletype. They got.
He's scheduled. He's
Okay,
actually scheduled, even though they didn't get notified till Monday.
so if I give this date that they got on here, May 29th, he'll be long gone, right? Yes, no, maybe.
Sir, if you would, addressing back to Mr. Turner, you didn't put the whole without, so he don't think you held him without, so we need
Mr.
to
Turner,
be
you held
sent
it
back.
out. I held you without.
It ain't. I mean, he could, you signing it again?
Oh,
You want him to
I
re-sign?
held him out when I signed it. He's
That's
held
what
it
I
out.
thought.
He's still
Do you
held
need
it
him to
out.
re-sign, Terry?
I'll just rescan it and send it to him.
10-4.
It's my case, isn't it? Yes. I've got it on bond. I hold him without.
Step over to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Next. Ed and Phil. Red X. Face the TV. State your name.
Out of county warrant out of Jackson County. Signed by Judge Peel. Bond is $2,500. Can you make that?
I tried, sir. My mom took the victim yesterday and dropped the charges on me.
Okay, well, there's two different questions. Can you make your bond?
I'm trying, sir. That's all I can do. I ain't got no money.
If you can't make the bond, you need to let somebody there know so that we can get you back in front of a judge over here. I'm gonna give you a court date of May 15th. May 15th is gonna be your return date. You're still in jail.
Okay.
Jackson County jail?
Listen
If
to
you're
me.
not pick-
No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party. Don't let, your mom doesn't need to be calling the victim, because that's called tampering.
All right, sir.
Sign now. Yes. There you go. Step behind him. State your name, sir.
Kenneth Larson. Mr. Larson, before the court on a failure to appear for a violation of probation hearing that was in front of Judge Grammer back December of 2023. We commissioned. You're held without bond. Your court date's gonna be May 8th at 9 o'clock.
All right, thank you, sir. Step behind him at the signature pad right there.
Sure, come on.
Sign now. Slide on over some, sir. The other way. Step in on the T. There you go, X rather. State your name, sir.
Byron D. Sean Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you fully court charged with possession of paraphernalia and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. You understand the charges?
Huh?
Do you understand the charges?
Yeah.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. That's true?
Yeah.
All right, so based on your application, I find that you do qualify for the service of the public defender's office. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No.
What brings you down here from Kentucky?
Well, man, I just come down here for a job. I didn't expect to not even hit. I didn't even hit the man with the two before. I tried to just throw it down beside him. And apparently now the whole state of Florida's in jail or prison. So. Huh?
Nothing, man. Deputy, criminal history?
I don't know.
Idaho, Wyoming, and Kentucky.
Bond said 1,000 paraphernalia. Court date's gonna be May 2nd at 8:30.
I don't have no money. Why if where I'm working, they're trying to get me some paperwork to let me out, then if they're gonna make me pay anyway, then why Why do that?
No,
I mean,
you should pay. I think you should stay right where you're at. 50,000 the aggravated battery.
No.
deadly weapon,
No,
contact
no,
with
sir.
based June 16th at 9 o'clock.
I don't get it. I don't understand then why I ain't signed no paperwork yet. But like if I sign paperwork, like I don't understand, like.
Joe explains to you.
Enjoy
Go
talking
ahead,
to your
Steph, I have
public
paperwork for
defender.
it.
Oh, well, like, what then, like.
Come on. Yeah, we'll bring it to you.
I'm confused, though. I'm
He's
confused.
appointed.
Oh, no, you got, no, we don't do that.
You mean death row?
He might qualify for an evaluation, Floyd.
Yeah. What was the court date? I'm sorry.
All right.
Call Mel Booker and tell him they gotta come get one. Give me 1 second, sir.
Bro, I was nice. See, I was like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I was nice. Be nice. I was nice. And this is what I get paid back for being nice. Oh, I don't know the instant naps is all fire. I don't think so. All cylinders. Oh, we're barking. They don't know why. Elevator down, go to the top floor.
See what's going, see.
I didn't.
You've been letting this slide all after this morning, knowing it was building.
Wait.
Knowing it was building.
Wait.
Matter of fact, you've been doing it since yesterday.
I hadn't poked the bear at all. I have been a gentleman and a scholar. I have expected you to sing my praises, and here you are giving me grief about not. Usually you're like.
See, I already knew. I knew it was building when I seen the list because you know I'm familiar with half of this list.
And now when I'm nice and I let them talk, now you're frustrated about that.
Listen,
man, brother, I can't win for losing with you. It's
you
true.
cannot.
You hurt the ones we care the most about. It's really. And
Because if I have to do paperwork, because you let this go. If I have to do any kind of paperwork, because you let this go. And Mr. Polk declined, but you know he declined yesterday, and it's the same situation.
I signed yeah. So Mr. Polk, on the trafficking fentanyl, bond is $250,000. On the possession of firearm by convicted felon, $50,000. On the possession of methamphetamine, $10,000. The possession of anabolic steroids. Who boy is he? Now I'm curious. Oh, now I gotta know. Play listen to that. 510, 190. It's not working. It's not working. 10,000 on the anabolics and 1,000 on the paraphernalia with random UAs, and I've granted the state's motion for Nevia.
What was that? 250, 50, 10, and what else?
250, 50, 10, 10, 1.
10 for?
June 16th at 9 o'clock.
And Mr. Hightower, we just got a phone call come in. He's been bonded, so I just told him to go back out in the hallway.
Okay.
Wait, come here, Hightower.
We'll see.
Because they can get that back.
He's got choices. Mr. Hightower, you can come back tomorrow. You can come down to the courthouse tomorrow, or I can give you the plea offer from the state today. The plea offer from the state is 1 day in Bay County Jail, credit for 1 day, withhold adjudication of guilt, so it's not going to be a conviction on your record, and you pay $400 within a year. Or you can plead not guilty and come back tomorrow.
You say one day in county jail?
He gave you time served. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You want to do that?
I'll take the plea.
I'm going to accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt, so it's not going to be a conviction on your record. Give you credit for the 1 day that you spent in the Bay County Jail. Court cost and fine of $400 is due 1 year from today. Okay.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
If you fail to pay or get an extension, the result is judgment for 6 days for every one, so don't let it happen, okay?
I'll have it paid tomorrow.
All right, man. Love you.
All right, step to your right at the T. When the green light comes on, you're gonna sign. It goes out and comes back on, you'll sign for a second one.
Miss Fambro, I'm hurt.
Listen. Listen.
I've been over backwards to be nice. Floyd, how are you?
I knew it was coming, because like I said, when I saw the list, I was like, how are you gonna give me so-and-so back to back?
I am on my best behavior.
You're being too nice. Just say order in the court and cut them off.
We gotta find that sweet spot.
Well, we found that sweet spot, ladies and gentlemen. That sweet spot, 3:20 in the afternoon, 2:20 Central Time, on Saturday afternoon, beginning of May. I'm done. More. No more. It was fun. That was great. Zach does not disappoint. You know, that's what Zach does. All right. Go check out Law Nerds Unite, you know. If you're not subscribed here, you might want to subscribe here. We do this thing kind of like this almost every day of the week. We have a little get together every night where we check out the daily Fleischer dockets. We call that the Fleischer Forum. That happens at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. But we do this every Saturday at noon Eastern Time, 11 Central Time, where we have a weekend review where we just review all the stuff. And your comments contribute to future videos where I'll either break this video apart and make new videos out of it, or make supercuts like we're going to do with Miss Burkoni. Awesome. Maybe. We'll see. You know. You never know how things go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're done for the day. I am your curator. I am your lone wolf Usul. I am your host for the weekend review. And I am done. Hope you all have a great weekend. Keep an eye out for more videos all day today, tomorrow, all weekend long, all week to come. Y'all have a great evening. Stay cheesy. And I'm going to stop trying to think of great outros and just reach forward and close this little lens. Y'all have a great afternoon. I'm Lone Wolf Usul, and I'm out. No, there's nothing extra coming. Leave. Stream ends.